This is Jenna. And we are the JJTwinzz.
That is the cutest.
It never gets old. I'm waiting for it to get old.
I love that song.
We are actually just sisters.
So it's just a nickname.
I love that you're sisters, though.
Yeah.
And you're you're like central Minnesota.
Yes. We're St. Cloud. We can talk about
St.
this.
Cloud Brown.
Yes. All right, everyone. Happy Monday. Oh, are we going to say...
Sorry, I had to move my chair closer,
okay.
guys.
Okay.
Okay. Welcome, everybody, and happy Monday. We're keeping it fresh for you guys, and now episodes will drop every Monday, so continue to follow our social medias for updates.
All right. Today... you go
Yeah,
for
do you
it.
want me to say it?
Yeah.
Today we have a very, very special guest that we are very excited about.
to have.
Oh, jeez, I hope I don't disappoint.
We have...
No, I don't think that's a possibility.
No, definitely
Not at all.
not. Definitely not. You actually kind of look like you could be one of our sisters.
I know,
I was
I feel
actually
like I
thinking
could
that.
fit
Oh
I
my
know,
gosh,
right?
tonight you're the third sister.
Can you?
Can I be your
Yes,
mom?
of course.
I could probably be your mom, but I'll be
No,
the
you
sister.
No, you
I'll be
could
your
not.
sister tonight.
Yes,
Yes.
you are.
Yes.
So we are joined with the ever so beautiful Carly Zucker.
Thank you.
Carly is a philanthropist, a wife, a mom, a party planning pro, a TV sports media personnel, and our guest today.
And officially now the third Bowman sister.
And the
third
for the
Bowman
night.
sister.
Yeah, woo!
That should start the resume.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. So, Carly, did you grow up in St. Cloud or did you just go to St. Cloud?
Yeah.
I didn't go to St. Cloud. I actually just grew up there.
You just grew up there?
Yeah,
No way.
Yeah. So
okay.
I was born in New Hampshire, but we moved there when I was 5. My dad started the heart program at Central Care in St. Cloud Hospital.
Shut up.
Wow.
Yeah, he was one of the
That's
first,
so impressive.
doctors there. So that's where I grew up. St. Cloud, went to St. Cloud Tech.
Okay, cool.
Go Tigers. And then, but I did go to a dance at Sartell and Sauk Rapids.
Of course you did.
Not around.
Yeah.
We don't need to talk about Sauk Rapids.
Yeah.
Scummy.
Yeah,
Just
really.
kidding.
Bad memories.
You said it.
I
You
mean,
said it.
I don't know. I guess like the first ever date I went on was with a Sauk Rapids boy. But that's because
I dated 3 Coles
Jenna?
from Sauk Rapids. They were all
From
named.
Sauk Rapids.
They were all named Cole.
Weird.
I think that's on the lack of originality of the
Three
moms
Coles
or
from
something.
Yeah. They were all
Jenna,
just
yeah, you
lame
definitely had more
and
of a...
generic.
Yeah.
So-
That's a good
Yeah,
good
so,
description.
But I went to college at Gustavus Adolphus College.
Oh,
yeah,
so did I.
down
Oh,
towards,
that's
down towards
awesome.
Mankato, so in St. Peter. I didn't go to St. Cloud, but I dated a guy there in college, so I went there a lot to party.
Oh, so
it's a good
what are
spot.
your spots?
It's a good spot to party for sure.
Well, I worked at the red carpet.
Oh my gosh, our dad bounced at the red
I
carpet.
probably was working with your dad.
Well, I think he bounced in like the 80s, so probably
okay,
not.
no,
Yeah.
So it
Definitely
wasn't
not.
quite bored. Yeah,
Definitely not.
not yet. Yeah, so I worked at the red carpet for like 4 years. Off and on. In the summers, I would come back. Then I'd come out back for the holidays. So I worked at the red carpet, so it was a big spot for us. And then Mick Rudy's was there at the time.
Yeah.
MC Dugout.
I love
Like,
MC Dugout.
Yeah.
Memories.
So
oh
yeah,
my
those were our
gosh,
spots.
yeah.
But so friends of mine that I worked with at the red carpet opened the Pickled Loon, if you know that one.
Yes,
so they
we
own
love the
Pickled
Love the
Loon.
pickled
Yeah,
loon.
so like
Cool.
Mike Ilias, Rhiannon Johnson,
Okay,
Aaron's,
sweet.
if you know Sean Colander, all of them, they started it
Totally.
after we worked at the carpet. So yeah, so those
The
are
Pickled
sense.
Loon is like a spot now. There's like that whole second level.
Oh, it's so cool.
Yeah.
so great there. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then is DB Searles still there? I love.
Oh yeah, I didn't go there often, but I mean, I obviously remember
Yeah.
it.
And then the press burned down.
Sad
R.I.P.
moment.
the press.
Yeah, I was there the night our friend got shot. Our friend, my claim to fame. Yeah, he got shot.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Why does that not surprise me?
I know. Long time ago, but yeah.
Those dollar tacos.
Wow.
Wasn't it tacos they had that were like $1?
Yeah, and I wonder how they like what they were made of.
I don't know.
I didn't
Scraps
never.
from the kitchen.
I didn't ever eat there.
I wouldn't have.
Adults drinking there.
Depends how drunk you get.
Yeah, I know, right? It's probably
There
what
was
they're
a
there
sandwich
for.
place across from the red carpet.
Yes, Jimmy John's.
Yes.
Yeah.
No,
Yes.
it was something else
Like,
before. It
no,
was
I don't know, like
Jimmy
it-
John's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Herbert's
Anyway,
and Gerbert's.
and that's where we.
And they had the like.
It
beef
was
with the
always
bread.
open.
Yes.
Yes.
Everybody would go there hammered after.
Yes.
Yes.
If you could walk, we made it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that was St. Cloud. My parents still live there full time, so I still go.
Okay, I
still
love
go there,
that.
quite a bit.
I played on
That's
an
awesome.
all-tech travel soccer team, so
What?
yeah, I don't mind the Tigers.
Yeah.
My first ever drinking experiences were with the St. Cloud.
Of course it
folks.
was. Yeah, that makes sense.
Aww.
Love it. Yeah. So yeah, we went to Sartell, St.
We
Cloud.
did.
I want to like ask where your parents live and stuff. We can talk about that off the.
Our parents still live in Sartell.
Yeah, we're South Side. Like, do you know where Cooper Avenue is at all?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
we're right off. Their neighborhood's right off Cooper Avenue.
Okay, totally.
Yep. Okay.
Yeah, one of my best friends from St. Cloud, who I'm still best friends with, she lives right off of Cooper.
Okay,
By like Tiffany or whatever.
Yeah.
That's the spot. Heck yeah.
That's awesome.
Okay.
So Carly, walk us through how you got started and kind of like what made you want to go into sports broadcasting. And I want you to know too, like before you just launch into this, you are a huge role model for like both of us. I just want you to know that just like right off the bat, and like we have so much love for you.
Oh my
So much respect.
Yeah.
That is so, thank you. That's so
Yes,
sweet.
of course.
I mean, I didn't even, to be honest, I didn't plan on getting into sports journalism or to get into journalism at all. I went to Gustavus thinking I'd be a lawyer.
Oh, okay.
That was hard. Like,
Yeah.
that
So
felt like
hard.
a long track and hard.
So
so I was
much
like,
books.
But I loved political campaigns. So I got a degree in political science and communications. And I grew up, my dad was a huge sports fan of everything. Like, we went to every meaningful, like he brought my sister to the World Series game when she was so little, like
wow.
the one that they won.
Cool.
And then we went to the Vikings game where Gary Anderson missed, I don't know if you guys remember, but like missed the kick. Like,
Yeah.
so we
Yes,
were at
I've
that
heard of it
game.
for sure.
Horrible. I mean, and we're little and we're walking out and we're like, oh my gosh, this is so dramatic. My dad would get so into it. And so we went to every St. Cloud State hockey game. And so I grew up around sport. I mean, we were always listening to KFAN. My dad was always talking about sports. So it was really a big part of my life, but it wasn't like I was a great athlete or anything. I mean, my grandmother, I don't know if you guys saw that, but she was in the League of Their Own. She was yeah, she's a professional. She's in the Cooperstown Hall of Fame. She's a
Oh my
so
god.
yeah, incredible
I
baseball
didn't know
player.
I just got
that.
like goosebumps. That
Me
is
too. I
so
know.
incredible.
She's a catcher. So yeah, my dad, they went when it opened, they went and saw that. So that's super cool. So I mean, it runs in our
that's so
family.
That's
But, and my
cool.
brother
Like,
was a
so
great hockey
incredible.
player. My sister was and brother are both phenomenal golfers. And
Oh,
so
awesome.
yeah, so I mean, I always grew up around sports, so I knew a lot about it and I followed it, but it wasn't something where I was like, this is what I want to pursue.
Talk radio's just on all the time. In
All
the
the
car,
time.
all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah. And so I knew names and I knew things that I didn't even realize I knew. But and then so when I left Gustavus, I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to do, but I had interned at KUIC, which is a small station in Mankato. And they had a job opening. I went back there and I just did general broadcasting. So I would cover anything and everything.
Okay.
And then I started doing more political campaign coverage. I went from like a reporter to an anchor there. Then I started filling in for some sports stuff because they needed help. And Vikings training camp was still going every summer.
Okay,
so
cool.
A lot of us would help out with those things.
Got it.
And sports, high school sports was really big down there. So I would help with coverage on those things. So I kind of got a feel for it and enjoyed it. But then I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And I really wanted to try living somewhere else. Like I wasn't sure what I wanted to do. So I actually went to the Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising out in LA and got a product development degree there.
Gosh.
Is
And
that where like LC went?
That's where
Okay.
LC
Cool.
Oh my
so,
gosh,
yeah.
we're big Hills fans.
Yeah.
I didn't
wow.
know if that was gonna- I didn't-
of
I know it's
Yeah.
rebooted, but I was like, I don't know if they're gonna.
Oh,
know
have you
anything
watched
about
the
that.
reboot?
I haven't. No.
Okay, it's pretty good.
Watch it.
Yeah, I would
Adrena's
lo-
in it and
watch
everything.
it.
Yeah,
It's
and
really good.
Spencer. I see Spencer. pop
Spidey
up.
seems pretty healthy now, believe it or not.
At this moment.
At
Anyway.
this moment.
But like worth a follow.
Yeah.
because one of
Yes.
the first reality couples that was so good. I mean, and
Oh, yeah.
Steven and I
Yeah.
mean, all so crazy, so much
Yeah.
fun. Love that show.
Yes.
But anyway, yeah. So that's the school I went to. I
Okay,
just
cool.
got a product development degree, and then moved back to Minnesota because, long story, but I got pregnant, and with my first
It happens.
daughter, yeah,
Yeah.
right. You know, that's the thing that can happen. And it did. Unplanned, totally fine. So lucky. She's 11 now. She's the best kid ever.
That's Sophie.
And yeah,
Sophia.
Sophia, yeah, she's the best. And so anyway, so came back to Minnesota and I didn't tell my parents I was pregnant until I was 8 months pregnant.
Oh my
I
gosh.
literally popped back home in March and was like, surprise! Like, we're having a baby. And they're like, oh my God, what? With who? 'Cause I wasn't dating him at the time.
Yeah.
Great guy. Still a great dad.
Right.
Really close to us. So all's well that ends well, right? But
Yeah.
told them, had her in April. And was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with my life.
Yeah.
And then found a job at the CW. It's all such a long story, but I'll shorten it. So I went to the CW, did some entertainment network coveraging, Then from there, Fox Sports North hired me to do a few things. The Timberwolves hired me to do the Timberwolves Entertainment Network.
Cool.
CBS Sports hired me to do snowcross racing.
Okay,
Monster
cool.
Energy and Red Bull hired me to do some jobs for them. So I just started saying yes to everything. Like, I hadn't met Jason quite yet. I was starting Timberwolves Entertainment Network when I met him. Okay. Still doing like all the odd jobs, and I just said yes to everything. And I was so worried about doing snowmobile racing because I knew about it, but I didn't know names. I didn't know what it entailed. Yeah. But I went in all in 100% and just knocked on every trailer and asked every question, and it was one of the most fun jobs I've ever had. It was so cool. We just traveled the country and did racing, and so I covered some supercross, and I don't know if you guys know about drifting, but I would do some stuff with drifting, and it was such a cool gig, and I met so many great people. So loved that. And then the Timberwolves Entertainment Network was great, and then KFAN took me on when Chris Hockey and I were doing racing together. Mm-hmm. So we started that job together, and well, he had been doing it for a million years, but he brought me in, and I loved radio. Radio is now my all-time favorite thing to do. Cool. And so now I've been with KFAN for like 8 years. Yeah, long time. And I had my own show for a little bit on there, and so really cool. I mean, that's like the job path, and then in between, we did Red Dress Collection, which was a big fundraiser for heart health, and Give 16. So those are passions on the side.
Really cool. That's really cool. So you mentioned it. How'd you meet Jason?
Well, that was a very boring story, but we were at a bar. I mean, it's so lame, but I was at a bachelorette party, and he was with some buddies from Denver. Denver was in town playing in the Frozen Four. Would it be the Frozen Four?
Oh, Frozen Four? One of them. They're in Vegas.
Frozen Face-Off, something like that. So anyway, they were playing here, and they won, and Jason was out with a bunch of the guys, and I was out with the girls, and he had this huge private section, but before the guys out there were like 2 guys in there. Oh my gosh, cool. Yeah, and so I was walking by with all these coats, and I was like, can I leave these on your couch? Oh, yeah. And he was wearing this really bold blazer. Like, if he wore it now, I'd be like, you're a loser. But it was really, really bold and totally got my attention. And he was like, yeah, leave him, but do you have any friends with you? Bring them in. So we went in there, and then we found out how old he was at the time. He was 21 or 22. And I was 6 years older than him. So I was like, oh God, no. I was like, this is so not happening. But that night, too, when we were all hanging out, we were all obviously just getting hammered. And his friends were like, he plays for the Wild. But the Wild were playing on TV behind us. So we're all thinking they're totally full of shit. And that they're just making that up. So we're like, that's lame. So we're all making fun of them. And then I went home. My friend gave him my number. And the next day he texted me and he's like, hope you made it home safe. Like, just, it was fun to meet you, whatever. Aww. And I texted my friend and I was like, did you give him my number? And she said, yes. She goes, whatever you do, don't Google him. So what do? You Google him.
Google that. Always. Like, you do is Google him. Right away, especially when someone says that.
Yeah. So Google him, find out, again, like remembered how old he was, found out he really did play hockey. And I was like, absolutely not. Not a chance. Like, I have a daughter, never going to happen. And then it just spiraled from there, and it did happen.
Oh, cute. Yeah. I feel like that's always when it happens.
Yeah, and he is by far the greatest guy in the whole world. Like, the greatest. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah. No complaint.
That is so cute. Yeah. And you guys just ended up living happily ever after. We
For
love
real.
It.
Like, the most happily ever after. Yeah.
That is amazing.
Oh, that's so cool. Do you ever look back and think, like, if you told me then what I knew now?
Always. Yes. I wish... all the things I mean, it's one of those things where the older you get and when things work out, you look back and everything makes sense. Yeah. But because at the time you're like, someone that, when you have a bad breakup or you have things that don't work out, I mean, you're devastated and you think that was it.
Absolutely.
And like Sophia's dad, we were together after I had her for a few years and it just didn't work out. And it wasn't really our fault. It just didn't work out. And I remember just being devastated. And I was like, I'll never be okay. And then I'm like, we're both happier than but he has 2 kids. He has a wonderful wife. Like, we're good. So, I mean, it can work out. You just never think it will.
Yeah.
Hashtag blessed.
Yeah. Hashtag blessed. I know. Jason would not say the same thing about me. I'm much more difficult. Like, I sent him a t-shirt because my birthday's coming up. I was like, you should buy me this. And it says expensive and difficult. And I was like, those are exactly what you would say about me. And he is like the easiest guy.
Hey,
that's balance. You found a gem there. I mean, that's the way to do it.
Quite honestly.
Okay, so I know that you kind of touched on, obviously, the fact that he's perfect, which no doubt we probably would absolutely agree. But what was the beginning of like your relationship? Like, how did that, like, what was that like?
Yeah, I mean, it was the easiest relationship I ever had, but also pretty complicated because of Sophia.
Yeah.
So I didn't introduce him to Sophia till we were 6 months in.
Did you tell him about it right away?
Oh yeah. Like,
okay.
I mean, like with social media too, you can't really like keep
yeah,
anything.
that's true.
He thought it was my niece or something, and I was like, oh no, she's mine. And so we talked about it, and he's like, well, I'll like if we get there where I meet her, I'll let you know he was like, I'll be really honest with you, and if I feel like I can't do it, because I mean, again,
that's really
he was
cool.
22, like 22, 23 when we dated, but we dated for 1 year. He proposed after 1 year. We got married 1 year after that. So it was like really fast.
Wow.
Like, he was 24 when we got married.
Oh my gosh.
And so that was crazy to me because I remember myself at 24, and I mean, I was unexpectedly pregnant. So I guess I was growing up, but I didn't feel grown up.
Oh, everyone
Yeah.
is growing up at 24.
Right?
Yeah. Yes.
It's like the new 22.
Yeah.
Like
I know.
It's the new 19, let's be real.
It is. Like, I feel like stay totally carefree as long as you can.
Yeah.
And I feel like people are doing that, which is really smart. But I couldn't believe it. And yeah, so our relationship was it was always so easy. Like, I didn't have to worry if he was going to call me. I didn't have to worry if he liked me. He was
that's really
communicated so easily, and it was just easy. And so, yeah, so I mean, after I introduced him to Sophia, kind of went really fast from there and got married and
now you're happily ever after.
had 2 more kids, and yeah.
There you
That's
go.
awesome.
Amazing.
Still in it.
I know our mom always says, like, you know when it's easy. Like, she just, that's everything she always says.
And I looked back, and every other relationship was so difficult. Like, so difficult.
Well, and then they make the other ones look like nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Well, and our mom always says, too, that, like, the right person will just feel like home, which always trips me up because I'm like, you guys are the only thing that feel like home.
I know.
Like, what?
Yeah,
Like,
but that will change. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you'll just grow a bigger home because I still feel that about my parents. Like, I would move in with them tomorrow.
I wish.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And they wouldn't probably, but we would love. I would be like, here, we're all here to live with you. So you just get a bigger family. It all feels like home.
Absolutely.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
So you kind of mentioned this. Oh wait, never mind. Favorite experiences professionally or personally, as far as like your career, places you've gone.
That's a really good question, because that's a lot. So like,
maybe let's just do professionally.
And feel free to like, you know, explain,
elaborate, go wherever you want.
Because I feel like I'm gonna forget something that was better, but I don't.
I know, right?
Yeah, like favorite professional moment. I think I mean, one of the biggest accomplishments I think I felt like I had was when I really nailed a live broadcast doing the CBS Sports Network, because I did trackside reporting, and there's so much that goes into that, whether it's knowing your stuff, it's loud. I mean, things change constantly. It's not, you can't really plan ahead. If there's a crash and they're like, we're going to come to you, you have to figure out who crashed, what's going on, you know, try to get the information.
That's crazy.
So nailing those broadcasts when they're live, I felt like once we did that, I felt like I had accomplished something.
Yeah, totally.
Because live is so much different than taped, obviously, because you can just do it over and over and over, edit and all that stuff. But if it's live, you have one shot. And I actually ended up preferring that because just like radio, because you can't go back and change anything.
Yeah,
it's just what
done.
it is. Yeah, you just do it and move forward.
Yeah.
But man, I was also on this, I was with the Timberwolves when Karl Anthony Towns and Andrew Wiggins signed, and Zach LaVine, which was a big game changer for the Timberwolves. Like, those were guys that were coming in that felt like they were going to change the organization. Obviously, we don't have Zach or Andrew anymore, but it was really cool to be there because you could feel the change and excitement in the organization.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I did I did some stuff with the Lynx as well, the years they won. So like, those were really cool moments to be a part of. But yeah, I mean, so professionally, there's like a lot, but.
Do you have a favorite Minnesota sports team?
Yeah, do you?
I mean, it's probably the Wild. I mean, we spent 9 seasons with them, and I still love them. Like, that, Spurgeons are our best friends. We love them. We travel with them. We live close to them. And so the fact that Jared is now taken over the leadership is so incredible and so good for that team. And I love to see that. And I want them to be successful. I just want them to be second to the Penguins successful. So, like, I want them to be so great, but just one less great than the Penguins.
Yeah. Perfect. Well said.
So
well
so I mean, it's for sure the Wild will always be. Yeah.
Okay. Is it my turn now?
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. No, you're good. So let's talk about it. What is it like being a woman in this industry? Lay it out for us.
You know, I always hesitate because it's not just this industry. Like when I worked, and a lot of it's TV, a lot of it's when I worked at the CW network. I had a boss who came to me and like went to my office and was like, you know, touched my leg and was like, you're not gonna look like this forever. So I think we should get you into sales so that we can like maximize your potential there, and then you can keep those accounts and grow.
Oh my God.
And I was floored. Yeah. I'm like, what a...
Also, like, you're a whole person. Like,
you just reduced me down to the fact that my looks aren't going to be around forever. And
and completely objectified you.
And and I'm like, I hope I would have way more to offer than that. Like, everybody grows old. Everybody changes.
Yes.
Like, what an honor to do that. Like,
absolutely.
I think it's, when you're young, I think it's hard because you're like, okay, I feel like I need to accomplish this by 25. I need to accomplish this by 30.
Milestones.
Like, you put these milestones on yourself.
Yeah.
And I did that a lot. Or too early. I was like, if I'm 24 and I haven't done this, then I don't have anything.
And as a woman,
might as well not exist. Bye bye.
That shit hits you earlier and faster and harder.
It absolutely does.
Absolutely.
And you start, and then you're like, okay, but then if I want a family, what am I going to do here? Like,
how does that switch things up? Yeah.
And so I always grew up being like, I'll never have kids. I'm just going to work. Now I have 3. I thought I would only work, and I just never saw myself being able to like settle down. I thought I would always just work and move and do that. But I started letting life happen finally, and that was when I met Jason. Like I finally stopped doing that to myself, like putting those like limitations in my head or telling myself I had to do something. He's changed my outlook so much on anything that I do, and I love that. But it's hard to be in that industry too because they're all young. So like I'm currently the oldest person on the Penguins roster. Like wife, girlfriend, guy, besides Jeff Carter. Jeff Carter's older than me. So that's a tough thing to be.
Yeah.
So it's just, I mean, it's a young industry, the sports, and it's just so, but they put so much pressure on women, whether it's looks, what you know. And I do see a shift now, and I think it's more about, do you know your stuff? And don't pretend. Like you can be entertaining and not know everything about football, and maybe you're not going to be a sideline reporter. You're not going to play by play,
right?
But there are women who are that good. Marnie Gellner is that good. That's her role. That would never have been my role, but it doesn't mean I couldn't learn or try. It's just that's not what I wanted.
Yeah.
And so Marnie has broken down so many barriers, and she's doing color and play by play, and she's everywhere, and she's so impressive. And so I do feel like we're seeing that shift. We're seeing coaches now and assistant coaches and scouts and women in all these areas. And we just need to keep seeing more of it. But so I don't necessarily think it's just the sports industry. I think that you have more male eyes in the sports industry. So you hear it more, you know,
the perception is a little different.
Then maybe entertainment, you know. So if you're a woman in entertainment, like there's women and men's eyes, which can both be critical, but you're dealing with men who just automatically, a lot of men, not every like man, but assume that you know less. They're always going to think you know less than them. I don't care if you're Marnie Gellner. There's fans, guys out there that are like, oh no, I'm always going to know more than her because of their perception of that she's a woman. So I mean, like those are difficulties you face, but I found a home with KFAN that has been, they're the biggest champions of women. They make comments, they joke, but like only at your comfort level. You know, they have never crossed a line. I've crossed more lines than they have talking to them, you know. But I found a home there, and I think they have given me every opportunity and like tried to give me opportunities and been, like I said, champions of mine. So having them in my corner and feeling like that's a home and a safe home has been a big deal for me and changed kind of my view. Like it's not the it wasn't what I had in a boss, the CW. They only care about, are you entertaining and do you know your stuff and what are you bringing to the table? It's just that. They don't care what I look like. They can joke about it, but they just don't, at the end of the day, it doesn't boil down to that. You know, they don't care what my age is. It's just, are you bringing something to the table on the show? And that's important. Yeah. So I feel like because I found a home there, that's important. And you can find that anywhere. You know, Marnie's found that at Bally Sports. And
well, and that's huge. Like when the expectation of you is you know, like articulated to you as a whole person, it makes you feel valued in such like a deeper, you know, more essential way.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
I feel like the biggest compliment too is like when people ask for your opinion, you know, they want to know how you feel, what you think. And then you're like, you see me as a person, you know, like a whole, you know.
And the guys are constantly like, if you have an idea for the show, bring it to us. You know, every door is open for me just as much as it is for any guy there. And I think they are one of the first shows on there to actually give that opportunity and to champion women.
Absolutely.
And so I love that about them. And I felt that way when I was with Snowcross too. Very male dominated, obviously. And every trailer that I walked into was respectful and was great to me. So I've been fortunate for those types of things. But you also get heckled. You get comments a lot on your looks. You know, if you gain 5 pounds, everybody seems to care. If your hair's out of place, everybody seems to care. But if you wear the same outfit, everybody seems to care. It's all those things that you just don't get with men, you know, that you don't typically get with men. So
it's a different standard, and that's a societal standard too that it fronts too. Totally. You know, I feel like that goes with any.
That's why I'm like, it's not always. I mean, it's not just the sport. That's everywhere. Yeah, that's the sport. I mean, whether you look at an entertainment industry or even with sales and marketing or realtors, like so much can be put on. Those types of things. And so
with social media being what it is, it's just everywhere.
I know.
Absolutely. Okay, I think it's your turn.
Yes. Oh, how do you feel being in the hockey wags community?
Yeah.
It can feel almost like a high school, but not in a negative way. I mean, there are teams where I'm sure it can be negative, but I have met some of I was really like, I have enough friends, I don't need to make more friends. But then I met all these women, and they're they're smart and they're funny and they have so many things going on for themselves. Like I always think of Emmy Granlund, who is an artist and a singer and a model, and like she has this whole career, and she's a mother and she's a hockey wife, and she made me this piece of artwork for our house that says like bitch on it, and it's the coolest. Everybody that comes in the house is always like, what? That's a beautiful piece of art. And she created it, and it's huge and it's great. And Sophia's always like, that's a bad word. And so I'm like, it's fine. I'm like, you'll hear it all the time, don't worry about it. And so I appreciate what all of these women do, and some want to just stay home and do the sport and the kids, and that is so much work because the guys are gone all the time. And then I admire so many people for the philanthropic work that they do, or I mean, a lot of them, like I said, have their own jobs in marketing or HR, and it's really fun, and we get to do a lot of really great things together. But I mean, it's a lot of pressure on everybody too, because during the season, it's how like easy can you make their life? You know, like how easy can you make your husband's life because he's playing hockey or any sport, you know? So that's a lot of pressure because everything falls on you. Yeah. You know?
Right.
And like, if it's a game day, they're gone all day.
Yeah.
If it's, you know, they're gone basically from the morning to the game day nap, everybody game days nap. And that was like, I was like, how are you napping? How do you get to nap when I don't get to nap? And then they get home really late. And then if they're on the road for 10 days. So, I mean, it's a wonderful world, but there's challenges that come with it too.
Well, I think people only see the glamorous side. And then, my question with that, is it ever like, well, you know, so-and-so's wife's doing this?
Yeah, no, I was thinking that too. Is it ever like that type of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I have not been on a team, luckily. I mean, you hear it. Like, there's stories from the Blackhawks that, I mean, long time ago. Before I was, you know, like a long time ago. But a wife with another team, you know, like,
there's always a wife with like a better brownie recipe or something.
I mean, there's stuff like that. But I have been fortunate that we've been on teams that are very family first.
Okay, cool.
Like when we were at the Wild, I mean, Zach Parise and Suter and those guys were always family oriented. They weren't out partying, doing sketchy stuff. So I mean, they were really good guys, and so that just permeated itself through the locker room. And everybody was kind of family first. And there's single young guys that like to go out, but that's any single young guy. I mean, woman, who cares? Like they can do whatever they want. We never had like any great drama, thank goodness. And the Penguins is run so well. Their organization too. I mean, Sidney Crosby and his girlfriend are just the best leaders, and that again just trickles down from the top. You know?
Right.
So and we are really close on that team. The Penguins girls are really, really close. We have so much fun together, and they let me be old and still party with them. It's really fun. It's awesome. And so, like, Jason and all of the girls are like, I can't believe how hard you guys party with us. We're like, well, we get to very rarely, so we're just going to go all in.
Yeah, absolutely.
Take advantage. Yeah.
Someone else has the kids, it's your night.
100%.
It is your night. Yeah.
So basically like a birthday, right?
Yeah.
So I will say that group of girls, like, we have so much fun together, and that's great. I mean, there's always stories. There's always little, like, gossipy stories, but it's never anything, like, horrible.
Okay, cool. That's really cool.
That I can say on this air.
Yeah. Okay, is it my turn now?
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm asking here. Oh, okay. What are some of your like favorite hockey moments?
Favorite hockey moments. I mean, by far the greatest hockey moment was the NHL Awards where Jason won the King Clancy. Yeah. For the philanthropic work with Masonic Children's Hospital and Give 16. That was by far the coolest night of our lives. I mean, to have Jason win that in honor and in memory of Tucker was really cool. I got to present that night at the NHL Awards, so that was really, really cool.
That's really cool. Yeah.
And you know, Camilla Kostek, do you know who that is? Gronk's girlfriend.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Of course. I can picture the spelling.
I got to meet her in the back room.
Oh my god.
Gronk is my hall pass.
Oh
he
my
is.
God.
Yeah.
So that was really cool. And then, do you guys watch Chicago Fire? This is so embarrassing.
No.
Okay, it's a TV show. Anyway, there's a firefighter on there who's like so hot.
I'm a big
Loves hockey.
firefighter chick. Love that.
And I met him and had two drinks in, probably a little tipsy. And I acted like he was a real firefighter that was a hero. I was like, I went up to him and I was like, oh my God, you're a hero. And my sister's like, what the hell are you doing? I was like, no. He's like a firefighter. Yeah. So I made him take a picture.
Get your
of me.
hose.
It was so embarrassing. Jason was like everybody was like mortified because I was acting like he was an actual firefighter.
I love that.
He was so sweet.
That's awesome.
I mean, like that. I mean, we just went. So our families came out. Were there. It was just such a great moment because I feel like of all accomplishments besides the Stanley Cup, for me to see Jason win one for the community and for his work like as a philanthropist, to me, with our foundation, was the best thing I could see. So that was by far the most fun and also the coolest thing we could see.
Absolutely. That's really cool.
And then other milestones, like Jason, you know, like he hit 500 games. And those things are really cool because there are just not that many players out there who ever hit those numbers. And so it's been really cool to see him hit those milestones.
Because he's been in it for how many years now?
This is 10 or 11.
Oh,
yeah.
Do you guys do a party for the like decade year?
Yeah.
Or no, is that not a thing?
I wish. I mean, you could. Why not?
Why not?
We could throw a party, but it's usually 1,000 games where people if you can make it to 1,000 games.
Got it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
That's epic.
Your turn, Jen.
Oh, is it mine? I thought I asked favorite hockey moment.
Oh shoot, it's mine. Okay. Just so wrapped up in it. Okay, so you're a part of so many different communities, and we'll talk about your philanthropy work.
Yes.
Which
also is so inspiring.
Yes.
We love it.
What is your favorite community to be associated with? Like mom, wife, philanthropist, TV, media?
Good question.
Big questions.
I mean, for sure it's the family because we have like a very loyal, like a really, I don't know, like strong foundation for our family. We have, I mean, whether it's our extended family or just like our core at home. Jason and he has my back for everything. Even when I would tweet something really stupid or something that would get me in trouble, which happened a few times, he always had my back. He always said to me, like, it's your Twitter. You have a career of your own. Like, you can do whatever you want. And he's just always so supportive, and we have each other's back for everything.
That's
so
huge.
that to me, like, to be just to be mom, wife, like my parents were so close to them. We love to travel with them. My sister, my brother, we're so close. And so to me, that's number one for sure. And our kids are phenomenal. Like, I would hang out with Sophia before anybody.
That's awesome.
And so, yeah, we snowboard together and do all sorts of
fun you guys
stuff.
were just on a trip.
Yeah, I went to Park City. That was really fun.
That's
so
so
I take
cool.
her snowboarding somewhere in the mountains every year.
Oh, so cool.
Yeah. And so, so for sure it's like family first.
Cool. You guys got to be a united front, mom and dad.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. So, moving on to the next, like just off of that question, moving on to the next kind of like community that you're involved in too. Tell us a little bit about the Give 16.
Yeah, so Give 16 started the year we got married. Well, right after that. So the year we got married, we met Tucker like 6 months before that. Tucker was a patient at Masonic Children's Hospital. He had osteosarcoma, bone cancer. And Jason met him on a random visit with the Wild. And I don't know, I'll try to shorten the story because we tell it a lot. But we ended up going, Tucker had to have his leg amputated. And we ended up going back to the hospital to surprise him with a hockey stick because we had a mutual friend. Like, we didn't even stay connected after that first visit. Jason didn't. He just came home and said, I met this really cool kid. And we left it at that. We had a mutual friend who reached out and said, oh, Jason met, Tucker, and he's actually having his leg amputated, and they're hoping you could send a stick or something. So we said, well, what if Jason just showed up instead? And
that'd be cool.
So they said yes, and so we were the first people besides family to see him like the day after it happened. And Jason we ended up staying and really connecting with the family. Like, they call themselves the A-Team, and it's a big extended family, and we just adore them, and we fell in love with that whole family. And Jason is not like a loner, but he just is he's a more private guy than you would think, and he's an introvert, and he just doesn't have a lot of people that influence him that much, like outside of hockey or his family.
Right.
And then when he met Tucker, it was really impactful for him. And so we stayed connected with the family. And then unfortunately, Tucker passed away right before July 4th. And 10 days later, and then a week before we got married, we decided to put on like this huge fundraiser for their family. And it went really, really well. And we were so thankful. Dana, his mom, is unlike anybody I've ever met. She has taken such a tragedy and something I don't know how you recover from. And she's created Play, Laugh, Love in his honor, and has written a book now on their experience. And she's just a wonderful woman, and we stay in touch a lot. And I just stay in touch with the whole family too. Like, her niece babysits for the kids once in a while. So we stay really connected with the family. So everything we do with Give 16 is built on that relationship, that foundation of what Tucker taught us. I mean, his mom, like a couple days before he passed away, his mom texted us. We were in Vegas, and she said, if you guys want to say goodbye, you should probably come home. And we were like, okay, well, Jason was coming into town in a couple days. Like, would we wait? And he's like, I just feel like I need to go. So we took a red eye that night and came in. And the next day we said goodbye, and he passed away like a day later.
Oh my gosh.
And so it was just really, I mean, it's something that changed both of our lives. And it was so special to us. So that's like I said, everything is built off of that relationship. And then what we found out about Masonic, it's a global leader in care for children and rare diseases, and we wanted to be a part of that forever. So that's when we built the Zucker Family Suite and Broadcast Studio there, where kids can go and create TV shows or play bingo and do all sorts of fun things in the studio and watch hockey games or other sporting events. And we have like the lights that go off when they score a goal in there. It's a really, really cool place. And they do morning radio or morning TV show there with all the announcements and all sorts of things. So that's really special to us, and to have this like legacy at Masonic was really important. So that's Give 16.
That's cool. Incredible.
It was really important to us.
Wow.
You just continue to inspire us. So, like, this whole episode, it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
We love to do it. Honestly, it's been like, it's such a privilege to have his platform too, because it's when I did Red Dress Collection, which was a runway show for Women's Heart Health. It was so hard to get people to back me because I didn't have a name. I was just like knocking on doors. It was just me. Like, I could be like, oh, I'm affiliated with the CW or this, but nobody knew who I was. And so it was every like 30 people you'd ask to donate something, one person would. Where for better or for worse, when you're associated with the Wild or you're associated with someone with a name, like, people do come out of the woodwork to help out a little bit more, which is fine. But I found that we have to take advantage of that platform while we can. And so that's really what we're trying to do with it.
That's amazing. Because you're given a gift, kind of.
Yeah,
in a way.
totally.
For the Give 16, do you have any like future visions for everything that you guys have like done so far, and like any big like fundraising events or anything like that?
Yeah.
And
yes.
will you bring the red dress back?
Oh,
yeah.
I know. So with Give 16, we we are starting to make moves. We're trying to bring it into Pittsburgh because because Masonic doesn't serve just Minnesota, even though it's like a University of Minnesota hospital, and it feels like it's just right here. We have families from all over the globe, and there could be families from Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania there that are being served, and their research extends far beyond. And so we think that it's important to kind of spread the knowledge that if you are supporting, it's not just people in Minnesota you're helping, it's globally. And so, and again, the research is such a key component, and they share their research with everybody. They don't hold it. So that's important for us to find a place that supports. And it's not like, okay, you found out something about children's cancer, but you're not going to share it with other hospitals to try to advance it. Like, that to us isn't the right thing to do. So anyway, so that will always be our first priority, is that hospital, making sure our space is funded. But then we also started doing Give 16 honors because kind of off of the idea of red dress and what I did, I wanted us to support more grassroots people that were younger or just didn't have the platform that Susan G. Komen would, or, you know, like the big name fundraisers or foundations that pull in millions. But a kid who's raising money for books for her school or lunch money for people, whatever it is. Right. So we honor 16 people every year with $1,600 and a custom jersey that makes you part of like the Give 16 family, and has their name, their foundation's name on the back. And then we just honor them with a couple other things. And it's been really cool because we're able to help like 16 different foundations in the community every year. That's really cool. A little bit, but it goes a long way when you're helping smaller groups. And so that's been really important to us. So we're expanding a little bit on that. And the Give 16 Honors event is really, really fun, but we haven't been able to do it. So when we're able to have bigger events again, we'll bring that one back because we really love it. Cool. But otherwise, just trying to, we pop up to, if I see something and it's like, okay, we need $1,000 for this, or Black Girls Hockey Club is a big one for us too. We just try to give money from the foundation to that as much as we can.
Oh, that's smart. And it's a way to get the foundation out, let people know you're supporting them, and then they
to try to grow it.
A nice path. Yeah.
Oh, and his red dress. Yeah. Man, here's the thing. That was a full-time job to do.
Oh,
it was insanity. It was so much more work than, because I had a small committee, and Amy Gorin was my co-creator of it, and she was incredible, and she was much smarter than me and much more organized, and so she was really a big part of it. But everybody else that did it, we were all just volunteer. So that's a hard thing to accomplish, and we had no money. Like, I did the first one with like $800 and out of my pocket, and it was really small, but it was very successful. And then we grew it to like 500 people that came, and it was so much fun, and I love that event, but it's just so much work. I can't imagine. I don't know. I'd have to be able to like have a full committee. Team. Yeah, exactly. So I haven't gotten back to it yet, but I would love to, because it was so much fun. It was really fun.
I remember seeing pictures of it, and so that's why I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that was you, actually, to be honest.
Yeah,
I was like, that's really cool.
I just because my dad's a cardiologist, not a doctor, so it was really important. Like, women's heart health was really important to us, and it's one thing that gets very overlooked. And so
absolutely.
Yeah. So anyway, so that was what I did before I met Jason. Yeah.
Awesome. So speaking of doing the most, which you clearly do, you wear so many hats. How do you juggle being like a career woman, a mom of 3, and a wife on top of all of it?
Yeah, I will say that I've been taking a step back the last couple years. I feel like I'm not taking on as much, just because you have to. I feel like I'm learning, like, I have to know when I can take on more gigs and when I need to slow down, just because the priority, when I became a mom, it has to be them. It just does. Like, Sophia needs to be at her activities. School needs to be priority number 1. The little ones need me to be there for them. And we had a full-time nanny for like a year, 2 years, but I missed doing the things for the kids. You know, like, I felt like a lot of times I needed her for like 3 hours a day, but not all day. So it's really hard to find someone to do that. And so we don't have a nanny anymore. My mom and sister help when they can, but I really like doing I like dropping them off. I like picking them up. And so I've just, that's really been a shift since Jason went to Pittsburgh. It was much easier when he was here. Yeah. Because he would, even if he was on the road, he still came home. And so at night, he'd be around, or the morning if I had radio, like, he'd be there. I could take hosting gigs. I could do other things. But since he's been traded, our decision was really to step back a bit. So, I mean, that's just being honest that it is hard to juggle it if you're if you're doing a lot of solo parenting without full-time help. But again, that was kind of the priority I wanted to take. But the job that I have too, I'm fortunate because it's flexible. Like a lot of, if you freelance or you're doing your own stuff, you can take what you want, you know, for this, like it worked out with the schedule. So this is something that I really love, these opportunities, because I get to meet new people and I get to talk and like do that stuff. So it's really fun. And then if somebody's like, okay, can you host this event, like a live event or something? I used to do that all the time and I love that. If it works out, I do it. So it's juggling like what fits in. And I never said no to anything in my 20s. Like I said yes to every job, like whether it was paid, no matter what, I said yes to everything because I met everybody and it led to the next job. And so I said yes to everything. And now I'm in a place where I just feel like I say no to more, but a lot of it's outsourcing too. Like I use Shipt a lot. I rely on other people, like little things to help me out and scheduling. And you just get really good at juggling your life, but you have to figure out what managing it looks like, because it can get really stressful. Yeah. And it's like when you stop enjoying something, that just doesn't seem like the right move anymore, you know? Yeah. So anyway, so I'd say like priorities have shifted the last few years, but I don't see myself ever not working in some capacity.
You kind of need something else. Like, I feel like it would just be so hard to get stuck in that identity of a mom. Like, your mom is, like, being a mom is your identity. Like, it's important to have a career, have you know what I mean?
And
like,
even more so with like, when you have a partner, whatever that partner does, if you're giving up stuff for them, your identity almost becomes that. And that's something I really never wanted, because I don't want to rely on Jason for my entertainment. I don't want to rely on Jason for my value or what I am passionate about, because that's a piece of it. But if I don't have my own stuff and I'm relying on him for that, if he's not around, like, then what am I doing? And so you have to, like, I don't care what your hobby is. Like, I don't know if I can share this, but Danielle Spurgeon, I can share it. Like, that girl builds Legos. I shit you not. Like, crazy, cool Legos. Yeah. But she enjoys it and she loves the process of it. And, like, I don't care what your hobby is. And she has 4 kids, so she's constantly busy with them. So, like, whatever your outlet is, I just think it's important to have something that you own for yourself. And so I mean, I think it'd be really hard for me, I can't speak for everybody, but it'd be really hard for me to have an identity that was solely Jason and the kids. So I always will do something. It just is changing all the time. And so I think finding ways to manage the jobs you want to take is important, you know, but I think you can always figure it out if you want to.
Absolutely.
Where there's a will, there's a way.
Totally. Well, and two, I just want to like recognize the fact that, like, I don't have any kids or anything, but, you know, I am a kindergarten teacher, and I feel like a lot of parents don't always see, like, those moments. I call them, like, the in-between moments, and that's, like, the ride to, you know, school, the ride home, and those are the most valuable moments. And I just want to, like, you know, I can already tell you're, like, an amazing mom, obviously, but I just really respect the fact that, like, you take the time to, like, make sure to, like, make those moments important and matter, because they're some of the most valuable to the kids. Absolutely.
Well, when you look back on your childhood memories, your memories are like us in the car kicking each other's car seats, dad singing. Remember when he sang?
We have stories
like, man, I feel like a woman. One time we're in the car and it's always talk radio if my dad's driving, and all of a sudden Shania Twain comes on. My dad goes, I really just love this song.
Our dad's like a big Shania Twain, big Swiftie. He loves Taylor Swift.
The whole song, I'll never forget. I can picture the street we were on and everything. Jen and I are just looking at each other like.
Well, and it's like, and you feel like your parents are, so you kind of like roll your eyes. Like Sophia's always rolling her eyes at me, but I know that she loves the memories of it because she talks about it. And like my favorite conversations are driving her to dance or like picking her up from school and asking her questions, and she'll come to me with things, and we have such an open dialogue. And the little ones too, like to hear what they have to say and what they're changing, and like you said, those that's just such a good way to say it, like those in between moments are really important, and to for them to know that I'm there. Because Jason would be if he could, you know, like it's not like he doesn't want to be there, so I want to make sure they know I'm there. And then when he comes home, he is 100% present all the time, and so they have both of us, but they need to know that for sure, like they have stability in one of us all the time. And so that's really important to me too.
Absolutely. Yeah. Really good job. Is it my turn?
I have no idea. I kind of lost track.
So okay, your kids' parties and all the parties.
Oh, they look
Can
so
we just,
epic.
touch on the parties.
Yes.
A round of applause. Bravo.
Yes.
Bravo.
That is for sure. I think that's
We applaud you on that. Yes.
more than any job I've ever had. You know, when you're talking about like personal, professional accomplishment, I think my kids' parties might be it.
No,
actually.
yeah.
Like that is the most fun I ever have is planning their parties and executing it and like see it unfold.
The Hogwarts one.
Oh,
Epic.
Thank you.
I was
so
like,
epic.
because I was like, oh my gosh, like I think I've even like texted Jenna because we're like really, really into like parties, themes, like all out. It was like
love it.
Everything you do it and then you do extra. And I was like looking at it, I was like, oh my gosh, these are like incredible. What's your favorite part of the process?
Oh my god. I mean, well, coming up with a theme, like an idea.
Yeah.
And
Is it usually you or the kids?
It's so like Sophia picks hers now.
Okay.
Like I steer the little ones a little bit. Like,
You got to.
I have this idea for Stella's third like Minnie Mouse party.
Oh my gosh, cute.
Oh my gosh, so
Can
cute.
you share?
Yeah.
Paint the
It's gonna
vision.
be
Oh, I'm
so
so
Yeah.
excited.
Lay it out for us.
I'll show you pictures.
Yes!
But like it's gonna be so cute. And so but Sophia always picks her. So for that it was Harry Potter. And then I mean, do not ask Jason the shit that I buy that comes home. He's like, can you return this? Because it's just like a Hogwarts like cooler. You know, it's like a trunk. He's like, what are we ever gonna do with that again? And so I'm like, well, somebody else might do a party like this, and they can have it.
Yeah.
Hey, you can have a party renting business.
But yeah, it is 1,000% like the idea of like coming up with the idea and then finding pictures and just executing it. And then sometimes my ideas totally fail. Like we did one for my dad's birthday party this year, and I had the idea of a hanging chandelier.
Oh, I love that.
And I was like, I want that over the dinner table outside, right? So I was like, I bought these poles that I thought you could just anchor down, put a string across, and hang a chandelier. Doesn't that make sense?
Yeah.
Jason's
And
dad.
you like weight it down, kind of.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
So I'm talking to Jason's dad on the phone, and he is gut laughing at me. He's like, that's never going to work. And I'm like, okay, I'll really wait then. Like, come on, those chandelier's not that big.
Right.
He's like, never going to work.
We'll do 4 poles.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm going to make this work.
Yeah.
And not even close to working. You hung it, and I weighted everything we could. Like, Jason brought up all of his big weights from the machine, and we tried everything. Nothing worked. It just came to the center. So then I'm like, but it's in my head, and I can't let it go.
Right.
I can relate to this exactly.
I cannot let it go if I have an idea.
Yes.
So then I was like, we have to find an umbrella, like an outdoor umbrella, and I'll hang it from the middle of that.
Perfect.
Right.
So we go find an umbrella, buy the umbrella, like a Menards or something. Yeah. We come back, and Jason, but it was red. I didn't want it to be red, so I draped like a white sheet over it.
Right. It's got to go with the color scheme.
I know. So like there's things like that where if I get an idea, I can't let it go. So we ended up making it work.
I mean, that's fair.
Sounds beautiful.
Yeah, it really
great,
does.
But
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. I can completely relate to that.
Yeah, I just get an idea in my head. But I love the process. Like that doesn't even stress me out. I just want to do it. So like a lot of people are like, oh my God, that looks like so much work. It's stressful. That to me is almost like an outlet to do those things.
A creative
like
outlet,
None of it stresses me.
We
out.
view the same way. Yeah.
We did a big party for the Wild one year, and like everybody came over, and it was so much fun. And I made one of those beer pong tables that's like colorful and like you do the designs on, you know?
Yeah.
And so, but I spent like 2 days doing it, and Jason's like, "What in the world?" Like, but it's the process.
It's
and
all
it
the
is.
details.
It's so much fun.
It's
so
fun.
Yeah, you can tell it's like the most excited
Yeah.
I've ever.
Yeah.
No, it's fine. It's fine.
The parties are the best. Yeah, I love it.
Love that.
I love
It's
a good
so
theme.
rewarding too.
It is.
I know. Like baby goat. I had a baby shower for a girlfriend, and we had baby goats come because it's a baby shower, and they're
Of course.
Oh my
baby
gosh,
therapy.
cute.
Did you do goat yoga?
But no, they're baby, like little baby therapy goats. They're the
Oh
cutest
my
thing, and they like to be
gosh.
interacted with.
love
And
that.
so they'll bring them to like senior citizens or young
Really
kids.
cool.
Did they eat anything?
And they do try to nibble on you.
Okay.
Did they lick? Don't they have those
But
weird
they
tongues?
didn't really lick, but they did want to climb on you, and they did want to like they would want
Eat your
to
sweater
nibble
a
and
little
stuff.
or something.
But they're the cutest
Oh
things
my
in the
gosh,
whole
so
world.
cute.
I'm like
Yeah.
picturing like boho goats.
So I did like
Yeah.
I did a Softcella, like a Coachella Softcella
Okay, love
theme
that.
for
Oh my
Sophia,
gosh,
and
love
we had the
it.
goats there too, and it was really fun. Yeah, so
Okay,
they're
cool.
really extra, but I love
No,
it. I love
Hey,
it.
no, we love the
it's
extraness.
all about like
It's
making
fine.
the memories.
It's fine.
It's for the memories.
Yeah, and Sophia, and I was like, am I doing this just for me? But Sophia talks about it all the time.
Yeah.
And I overheard at her Harry Potter party, one of the girls from the school was like, Sophia's parties are always a lot of fun. And I was like, oh, yeah. I was like,
okay.
cool. An 11-year-old thinks I'm really good at party.
You'll take it.
Like,
You'll take it.
Totally. I was like, that's the nicest compliment I've ever gotten.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
They're the hardest to please, little kids.
Dude, yes.
Totally. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
Especially the 11-year-old demographic.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
So yeah, when I got that compliment, I was like,
yeah,
You've made it.
flying
You've
high.
made it.
You're sleeping
Flying
well
high.
that night.
Yeah.
You're like,
journaled that, kept that.
Oh, yeah.
I love
That's going in the
that.
happy book
Yeah,
for sure.
happy book.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, cool. Do you do like regular journaling and devotions? or
Yeah,
anything
do
like
you
that?
all?
I've started doing, like writing just 3 things I'm grateful for.
Oh,
But
love.
like I love the idea of being like, I'm gonna wake up early and I'm gonna meditate and
Yeah.
care. But usually the kids wake me up. Like
Yeah.
they're really early risers, so
Yes.
usually it's like, Mom. So I don't really have the luxury of waking up and
Well, that's pretty
just
realistic.
starting my day because they wake up like 5:30 or 6, like
Yeah.
early. So it's not like I'm
Right.
gonna wake up. I'm not gonna wake up at 4 just to get my meditation in. So
No.
that's something. That's like something I hope I shift someday. Obviously, when they get older.
Yeah.
But right now, it's just the little things I'm trying to do. You know, like I don't journal like a lot. Sophia does. She loves to write. She loves to read.
Oh, cute.
So I think that's really neat. And her and I started the year. She's like, I wanted to journal every day, and I was like, well, what if we did once a week? Like you wrote down things you
Yeah.
appreciate, and you like talked about your week, like writing like that. So I was like, start small.
Oh, cute.
So we do those things, like talk about that. But I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not really devoted to it.
Oh, you're not waking up for your sun salutations at 4:30.
I wish. Someday, someday that's gonna be my life.
Someday
Just
I'll be
yeah.
a yogi.
Yeah.
Jen, your turn.
Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, this is a fun one. So obviously like you and Jason are fabulous and perfect in like every way. Do you have any relationship advice that you could offer?
I mean, what we talked about for sure, like it's so hard to say, it's so hard to understand it, because if you would have told me, like if I came to you and I was like, you're gonna find it's gonna be easy and like, well, I would have been like, bullshit. Like,
Yeah.
I love the drama. I live in it. Like, I think that
It just happens.
it just happens. And so I like lived in the drama of relationships for a really, really long time
Yeah.
and like thrived off of that. And then when I met Jason, I almost like tried to do it and it just wasn't happening.
just fell flat.
Yeah. I was like, I would try to be dramatic and stuff and it would be like,
Don't you
I'm-
care?
I know. And he'd be like, I'm going to give you some space and why don't you let me know like when you want to talk about this? And I'm like, no.
You're
fight
like,
with
what
me."
is that?
Yeah, I'm like, I want to fight. Like, let's go. And he apologizes so easily and just is like recognizes.
That's an
like,
incredible skill in a man.
my
Yeah.
God. And like
Big
when he was
stuff.
doing this, he was like 20. I'm like, how do you know how to do this? You're like,
Yeah.
so
honestly.
young. But he would always come to me and be like, and he talks about things and we're really good. I mean, communication we have to, because he's in Pittsburgh most of the year
Right.
and I'm here. So it's a lot of like, if I'm feeling like we're not connecting or he's not hearing something from me or that I'm really stressed about something.
Yeah.
I have to tell him because he's not a mind reader.
Right.
And I used to do that with guys. Where I was like, well, if he just can't read what I feel and what I want, then I'm going to be mad. And with Jason, I don't do that. I just tell him. I'm like, okay, this is making me upset, or like, this is what I want for my birthday, or like, this is what I expect. And so it's like, if he doesn't throw me a party, it's not his fault. You know,
Yeah,
he
he
might
didn't
have
know.
thought that I just didn't want that. So we're really, really, really good at communicating. And we don't keep anything from each other. We are each other's best friends. He makes me laugh. Like, we have so much fun together. And we always say like our hardest times are when we're not together, which makes us feel good because we know
That's
we
how it
want
should
to be
be.
together.
Yeah.
And so like the only time we ever get in fights is usually like I'm missing him and I'm stressed or I want something. But I will tell you, this is the kind of guy he is. He had one day off this last week and you can hear I'm like not feeling great. And I wasn't feeling great. I've been really just stressed about stuff. Like it's just been stressful. He flew in and surprised me the day I got back from Montana from a girls trip.
Oh my gosh.
He showed up.
cute.
He said to me, he's hurt right now, so he has some time off, and he was like, I'm going to take the kids back with me and the dog. I want you to have some time to yourself. He booked me a wellness retreat in Arizona for 5 days.
Shut up.
Scheduled everything. Massages, meditation, the
Oh my
yoga,
gosh.
morning
my
hikes.
Love that.
Culinary things. Like, it's a place I've always wanted to go. I'm just going by myself.
gosh.
And so, like, after Sophia's dance weekend, he's scheduled my flights. And then he's like, I know you're going to miss the kids, but he's like, I miss them. I don't get to see them. So he's like, let me do this. He like
Right.
knows how to make me feel like he just knows what works with making me feel better. And I know the same for him. And like, if he's really stressed about hockey or things aren't going right, like I kind of know what to do for him. And so we found this really great way to work. And I mean, it just I swear, I still feel like a newlywed. I still feel like he treats me like gold. And I literally cannot believe it, because I feel like I'm every woman's hope for like finding a great guy, because I never thought
you're our inspiration.
I like never thought I would find this. Like, you know, when I was with Sophia's dad, again, he's a great guy, but it just wasn't for us. And when I wasn't with him, I was like, I have a child. Like, if I end up with someone, it's probably going to be someone older who like has kids or doesn't want more kids. I pictured just a different life, and he's made my life like so fun, and we just thrive and we have a blast. And I could not have told you like the day before I met him that would ever happen to me. And so I'm just like eternally grateful for that, because I can't believe it. Like I found someone who loves me so much.
And for you.
Yeah. And it's crazy. Yeah. It's just like, and he supports everything. And so it's really cool. Yeah.
Totally.
It's very hard.
How do you guys like keep it like vibrant?
Keep it
and,
fresh?
How you guys keeping it fresh?
I do think the time apart helps.
I was gonna ask.
Yeah.
Like, does it make it so much better when you're like,
you know, it's tough when it becomes like 4 weeks. You know, if it gets to be too long, you're like, okay, this sucks. But when you have the time apart, when you get back together, you're like super excited to see each other, and you want to tell each other everything. And that's the thing too. We like are excited to tell each other everything, and we're like partners. If he has, you know, when we're making decisions on things, like we go to each other. You know, we are each other's person, and so that I feel like just helps. And like for some reason we find each other really attractive.
Yeah.
And so like we have that. Like I don't know, like
that helps.
Yeah.
And, just a bit.
And he does so, you know, they talk about love languages, you know?
Yeah,
like he like, I need acts of service. Like I need him to do things without me asking, or do like be present with the kids. And he does that. And so that's really helpful, because I don't have to beg him to like do the dishes or want to be with the kids and take them to play or do things like that. And if he sees that I'm tired, he's like, just go take a nap. Like he doesn't make me feel guilty about doing those things.
That's huge.
And people do that.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, like if he was like, if I looked at him and he was exhausted, I'd be like, go lay down. Like I've got this. Right. And I think doing those little things for each other is really important, because a lot of people I know make them feel good. They're like, well, if I'm down here, you're down here.
They take things too personally.
Yes,
Yes, absolutely.
Like, let them have that, because like it makes them, it's going to make them happier.
Make the moment better.
It makes them a better person too.
Totally.
Yeah.
So like giving those things to each other, I think, and like that, allowing them to have self-care without guilt, and to have those moments. Like he didn't take the kids and was like, oh, I'm just going to do this because you're like having a tough time. It was like, I want to do this. Yeah. And so that was like, that's really important to us. Sweet. Yeah.
That's huge.
And they're gonna love that. They're gonna remember that.
They're having a blast. Yeah, they're Dave and Buster's tonight. Like,
oh my gosh, fun.
Oh my gosh, it's like the best place.
And I love that. I love Dave and Buster's.
Yeah, I know, right?
And they're like slinging.
No, it's so fun.
Yeah, I loved it. Yeah, we love it there, and all of our kids love it there too. So we spend a lot of time at Dave and Buster's.
It's so fun.
It's fun. Sure.
Okay, so let us know. I mean, I don't know if we kind of talked about this like in length really or not before, but what's it like being so public? Like, how do you feel like that's made your life like a different experience, kind of?
I would say it's very different in Minnesota, because if I go to Pittsburgh, nobody knows who I am. You know, like it doesn't translate. Like if I go to Las Vegas, like nobody cares. So I mean, it's very specific to Minnesota. Okay. I do get recognized a lot here, but that's because I've been around for so long, and people have seen me, whether it's like when they knew me for Red Dress, or they knew me with Give 16 or from KFAN, because that Power Trip morning show has such a huge following. I mean, that blew up my career. Yeah, was being on that show. And so I mean, they absolutely changed my life as far as like opportunities I got and being recognized and things like that. So I feel like it's very specific to Minnesota, which is nice. That said, I feel like I'm really open book. Like there's pretty much nothing I won't say, which is good and bad. Like, you know, a lot of the hockey guys are incredibly private. Like Jason's more private than not. And the teams hold everything really close to the vest too. So I mean, I've walk a very fine line of what I can say and what I can't. Yeah. Right. Because I usually know injuries or surgeries that are like things that when you're in the sports industry, people are trying to find out, like who's injured, who's playing, all those things. But even though I know them, I can't say them. So like the information
Right.
journalists are trying to get and reporters are trying to get if they're actually in the sports field are things that I know, but I can't tell them.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a really fine line, especially when we were here. Pittsburgh, it doesn't really matter because like nobody's asking me anything.
Yeah.
But I would always make sure that I kept those things very separate and like didn't say anything that I couldn't. But I love Twitter, and I told you that I can't put the funny away. If it just happens, it happens.
Oh yeah,
And
you've
I've
been
tweeted-
blessed with, you know,
I've tweeted
humor.
some things that were not well received.
It happens.
Yeah, and so those moments are hard because I feel like so I tweeted something and TSN in Canada picked it up.
Oh wow.
Oh,
And
wow.
nobody knows me there. Like, I mean, the people that listen to the Power Trip get my humor. So if I'm being sarcastic, I tweet something, they get it. Like, they know that I'm being snarky. They know that it's not true.
Malicious, yeah.
Right.
It was something where, like, the GM at the time had tweeted, like, well, if something comes our way, we'll trade Jason. If something better happens, like, we'll trade Jason or whatever. And I tweeted back and was like, I feel the same way. If something better comes, I'll divorce Jason. Like, said that.
Right.
I woke up the next morning and it was everywhere on hockey news. Everywhere. Like, I was floored. It was like,
Oh my gosh.
Zucker's wife thinks that is like complaining because he could be like they said the most horrible things. It was just like she thinks she knows hockey and like she doesn't realize it's a business and she's getting really
Oh
like
my god.
they took what I had said serious. They're like, a marriage is nothing like hockey, so why would she divorce him? I'm like, you took that seriously? But it blew up over hockey news in Canada. That was really hard. Like,
Yeah.
because I wanted them to know what I meant. And
Yeah.
that's a really hard thing. If something that you say is not understood correctly or taken out of context or whatever it is and people don't know, you want to defend yourself. Your
Yeah.
instinct is to defend yourself. But I'm looking at what people are saying and some of it's just horrific. You know, it's like he should
gosh.
leave her. She's ugly anyway. She's
Oh my god.
her voice is annoying. You know, like
What?
I
Oh
can't
my
even listen. I
gosh.
used to listen to her, but I can't listen to her anymore. Like the things that were said, it was so much that I wanted to reply. You know, like I
Yeah,
wanted.
right.
My instinct was like, no, I meant this as a joke. Like I don't think that. Like
Yeah.
it was like she thinks she's so great in her husband's career, so good. Like just
Oh my goodness.
just
Oh my god.
Nasty
ruthless.
stuff.
And it wasn't like 2 where it's like if it's 2 you're kind of like whatever, but it was just a lot. And I felt like public enemy number 1 in that day, and it obviously felt bigger to me than it truly was, but it sucked. Like that sucks. So there's moments like that are really hard because you just like you want to explain yourself and you want to be understood, but then like you get past it and you realize it's not really that big of a deal, and you realize that in 10 minutes they're going to worry about something else. Like the people that comment think about it in the moment, right? But then they move on to the next thing.
That's true.
Right.
I dwell on it.
Yeah.
So I just have to always remember, like, they thought about me for 2 seconds. They don't really care about me. They've moved
Right.
on to the next thing. And so
point.
like remembering that and how not big of a deal you are in those moments, but it feels so overwhelming.
Feels like your world.
Absolutely.
Totally. And then I felt bad because like that was also, and thank God for Jason, he didn't care. He was like, just ignore it. But you also feel so bad about your relationship, you know, like I didn't want to do him a disservice or disrespect his career, you know, so then there's that component that you feel so bad about. So that was like, that's a public moment that I think is really hard, and you have to remember. So I've tailored those things back, and I don't really do them anymore because like how much of it, you know, it's like, well, if that wouldn't have bothered me at all, then I'd maybe do it. But I just really tread lightly now with what I say so that I don't end up on the news again in Canada. And so, yeah, so it's stuff like that I think is tough. The public side of it, though, that's really great is, again, like when you're trying to do charity events and people know you and they know your name, you can gain access to things so much easier. And it's great. Like, I don't mean that in like a VIP status thing. It's more just like if people feel comfortable supporting what you're doing and you have a name and people want to be involved with it. And I think that is such a wonderful thing. And we've gained so many relationships and so many friends that we've met through doing all of these events and things like that. And you get invited to things and you get to do really fun things and have experiences like the NHL awards. And so all of that stuff I think is such a cool, unique opportunity in a life like I never realized I would live. And so I think that public side of it is really cool, you know?
Absolutely.
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
I mean, I got to meet the firefighter from Chicago.
Yeah.
Of course.
Big deal.
Yeah.
Okay, should we pop to the pros questions?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go first? Should I go first?
Sure.
What
So we
shall
asked these
do?
Proust questions, which like in entirety of like it's a whole interview and it's supposed to reveal aspects of your true character. So we just
Sweet.
ask a few.
Oh man. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Just like fire off whatever comes to mind.
Which living person do you most admire?
Yeah.
Living person do I most admire? Oh, my mom.
Oh,
Yeah,
Aww.
for sure.
I love that.
For like so many reasons I couldn't name, but yeah,
Yeah.
my mom.
Incredible. Okay. On what occasion do you lie?
Oh, I love that one.
Oh, probably about how much things cost to Jason, or when did I order or buy something.
Oh yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
like,
Understood.
no, I had that.
Yeah.
No, like I got that purse like
That's like
years
old.
ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like, no, nope,
Wait till he's asleep to bring the bags in.
100%.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
and the thing is, he doesn't care, but I still feel like I need to like
You
fib a
still
little
do
bit on
it.
it.
Yeah.
Also, I tell my kids like things are closed. I lie a lot when I am so dreading the day that they're like McDonald's doesn't actually close on a Sunday. Like,
Oh my
like,
gosh.
I'm like
Those are just like parent lies.
yeah,
like
the kids are like, let's go to the playground. I'm like, oh shoot, the playground closed at noon today. I'm like, we can't go. So yeah, like I'll do shit like that when I don't feel like doing it, which is really, really bad. But
No, that's pretty fair.
so I'm like, we can't wait till like Sophia will look at me and be like, come on, like because she knows and she's just thinks it's hilarious.
she's like, I
And I'm
didn't
like,
want to go
yeah,
anyway.
guys, sorry, I would totally take you to that. It was closed.
When and where are you the happiest?
Oh, when all the kids and Jason are home together, because that just doesn't happen very often with Sophia at her dad's and Jason gone. When we are all under one roof and I'm going to bed, greatest moment of my life, because I'm like, everybody's safe, everybody's with me, I know everybody is. It's like that and playing cribbage with Jason.
Cute.
And drinking wine. Yeah, we play cribbage a lot.
I love
It's like
that.
That's so
drinking
cute.
good wine, playing cribbage with Jason, having everyone in one house, happiest.
Love that.
Our
Goals.
parents call that like Disney World.
Yeah, that's what our mom says. She's like, it's
They're
like
like, that's when we're at Disney
Stop.
World.
I love that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next one, what do you most value in your friendships?
Loyalty.
That's huge.
Love it.
Not
Love it.
loyalty and honesty. Like I just think like I have to be able to rely on you always. Like not to be there necessarily, but just like the absolute loyalty for sure.
Have your back.
Yeah. Because I try to be that way.
Absolutely.
And so like that's important for me to be that way, and I think I value that a lot in people.
100%. I can't relate more.
Yeah.
What is your life motto?
The bigger the better. No, just kidding.
Love that.
Diamond. No, just kidding. All that stuff. Oh man, I don't know. What's a good one? Jason would know this because he has like 4 tattooed on his body. So it's like
what's your favorite
in,
tattoo?
could pick
Jason's,
one.
like, in pursuit of perfection is Jason's.
I love
So,
that.
yeah, he has
Oh,
that
wow.
tattoo.
Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I have 2.
Ooh.
Ooh.
What I have 2? I have 2. One is when the first time Sophia ever wrote a word, it said love. Like she wrote love down, and I took that and I had it tattooed on my rib cage.
Love that.
And then I got high on mushrooms in Joshua Tree, and I got a Joshua Tree on mushrooms in Joshua Tree
that's kind of cool.
That's kind of epic.
Where
yeah.
is that located?
in California.
No, on your body.
Oh, I was like, "Where's Joshua Tree?" On my right underneath.
Oh,
the lip.
under. Okay.
yeah.
I love that.
Cool.
Your turn, Jen.
Okay. Which words or phrases do you feel like you most overuse?
So when I interview people or when I talk to people, I do this thing where I say, I was just going to ask you. I was just going to say, I always do like this. I was just going to tell you that. And so that is for sure my crutch. I always say that. If we're going to have a conversation, I go, oh yeah, I was just going to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
Do you ever feel like you catch yourself? Like, I know it just now in this episode, every time I'm like, love that. I'm like, shoot, how many times have I said love that? Do you ever like catch yourself in the moment?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do totally a lot too. I'm always like, totally.
Oh,
yeah. And so, yeah, there's a lot. There's all of that. Yeah. If you listen to yourself back,
Oh, geez.
it's the absolute
Cringe.
worst. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do that anymore.
No, straight up. Okay, Jules.
Oh, is it my turn? What is your greatest fear?
Fires, like being trapped in that in airplanes. But like when I went to college or anytime I moved, I would go straight. I'd ask like where the fire exits are and do they have working fire
This
alarm?
is
Like
like
I would
really making the fireman thing make sense.
Yeah,
I know, I was just
right,
gonna say
right,
that.
Like
yeah.
things are clicking.
Everything's
Okay.
coming together. Yeah, I don't know why that was, but it was just like like fire, like knowing where the exits are in
Yeah, gotta be
situations,
safe.
and then flying. I'm a terrible flyer.
Really?
I become a psycho in the air.
Do you take like anything to relax you?
I tried to take Xanax, but it would not help. My adrenaline was way too strong. And then I can drink a couple drinks and be fine, but I can't with the kids. I travel with them alone a lot of times, and like they need me to be there for them.
Right.
Annoying. No.
I know. Shoot.
But yeah, so I just suck it up. But I'm a little bit of a psycho in the air. Yeah.
It's hard
I
to
become
not
really
be
irrational.
sometimes. Yeah.
It is, yeah.
There's a woman churning butter.
But that's me. I'm like that person, and I'm always like, psst, 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 flight attendant. I'm like, is this okay? She's like, yeah, it's just a little turbulence. I'm like, are you sure? Did you feel that?
Sure?
I'm like, I told Jace, I woke him up one time. I was like, I just felt the plane turning, and he's like, yeah, they turned. I'm like, no, but it tilted and turned. He's like, yeah. So it's just irrational.
Okay, so what do you feel like your greatest achievement is? Like personally, professionally, in life?
I mean, I hope it's being a good mom and wife, like for sure.
Yeah.
You know, I think like that can seem like kind of cheesy or cliche, but I want to be a good supportive like wife and mom first.
Yeah, right.
Professionally, I think like having I was the first woman to have a show on KFAN, a female-led show in 10 years. And so like that was a big accomplishment. That was like
really
I was the first female-led show on KFAN in 10 years, and so that was a big accomplishment for me because I was like, okay, like I've done some, you know, I felt like I'd done something that mattered, and
Absolutely.
I loved the show, and I thought that was really important what we were talking about. And so so I think those were two of my biggest things.
So
That's
we
awesome.
totally forgot too. We have a question from a listener about KFAN.
Oh yeah, we
Was
did.
the $5,000 for meat sauce to swim a lap and a half really worth it?
Yeah.
It was 1,000 and it was not. I mean, well, we got a good bit out of it. Like we really dragged that on, but then he didn't even swim 2 laps. And so like that was the most disappointing moment, because I was like, if you would have made it close to the end and I lost, fine. I was like, you gave up and you could have done more. So I think that was why it would, but the bit was hilarious. Yeah. So it was $1,000 and no, it was not worth it. I wish I had the $1,000.
Goodbye, another purse.
Yeah, exactly.
Meat sauce, send the bag.
Yeah, give me a purse.
Absolutely. Okay, should we jump into underrated, overrated?
Yeah.
Okay. So we kind of play this game that's underrated, overrated. So we're just going to give like topics to you and you'll just decide right away underrated, overrated, and tell us why. Okay, so first one, Tiger Woods. What are you thinking?
Overrated, underrated.
Ooh, I think I would say rated. Like, I don't think he's underrated or overrated. I think he's he's one of the greatest golfers of all time. He changed the game too. He came in, he was an athletic player, obviously a player of color and different backgrounds. And so I think he changed the game. So I don't think he could be underrated, or he could be overrated at all. I think he is incredible. And so, yeah, rated.
Rated.
Just gonna go rated.
I like that. Yeah. Okay.
WNBA.
Oh, underrated.
Yeah. Tell
For
us more.
sure. I love the. So I would skip Jason's games to take Sophia to Lynx games.
Really?
And I would post from there and people would be like, how are you not supporting your husband? And I'm like, he got me the ticket. Like I love going to Lynx games. I love the the Aces that invade. I love the WNBA. I love Lindsay Whalen. We formed a really good relationship. I think Maya Moore is one of the most interesting people on the planet. Cheryl Reeves is just unbelievable, and she could coach in the NBA if she wanted to, I think. And so all those things totally underrated. Yeah,
love that.
Yep.
Love it.
I used to want to play in the WNBA when I played basketball.
Oh heck yeah,
She
Good for
did.
you.
She did.
Then I grew up and realized.
I'm wearing the sweatshirt
I know,
to prove it to you. Yeah, like I love the WNBA.
I did not ever have that bug being 5'2", but it's fine.
Yeah, same girl.
Okay. How about play dates? Underrated, overrated?
Overrated, maybe. I don't really seek them out much. I just feel like the kids have friends and the little ones have each other, and we have really close friends on the teams and stuff. So like, I don't even look at those as like play dates I'm making out. Like we just hang out together, and I think that's really fun. But I'm not really good at actively pursuing a play date just because it's
Or like
a play
doing the
date.
planning and like
Right. Like I don't
Kind of
really
a
like
lot
that.
of
And I
work.
don't like a forced relationship with like a
Right.
parent. And I don't know. I just do not like being uncomfortable. Like I will
Yeah.
just hightail it out of there. I'd be like, oh God, shoot, I forgot that we had a dentist appointment.
They can
I
get
was-
awkward like real quick.
Seriously.
Yes.
So maybe overrated.
Okay.
I always assumed that play dates were the moms really loving to hang out, and you as kids were just kind of forced.
And
to hang out.
ideally, yeah, I think that would be the
Ideally.
situation. And that's kind of what my play dates like. There's
Yeah.
Right.
all the moms I hang out with are people I want to hang out with, but I'm not like seeking out a new one.
Totally.
Right.
Enough friends. Enough friends.
Family photo sessions.
Oh, me underrated.
Love
I would
'em.
do them every day.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the psycho with all the
we love it.
Love it.
plan. I would do a photo shoot with those children every day.
I love your photo shoots with the
Oh,
kids.
We do.
I love it.
Big fans.
It's so much fun. And that's another thing that doesn't stress me out. Like, I have so many friends who do it like twice a year, and they're like, because it stresses them out and they hate
Yeah.
it. Oh, I love the process. I let the kids just hang out. Like, I don't make them pose. Like, they just run around and we get pictures of that. Like, it's fine. So, like, they just have fun when they're done, we're done. Like, it's not
yeah.
even I don't care what we get out of it. It's more just it's just fun.
Picking out the outfits.
Absolutely.
Totally
I love
underrated.
that.
Yeah.
Love that.
Okay, and then the last one we have for you, Hallmark movies. What are you thinking?
I don't watch them.
Ooh.
I know,
Ooh.
and like I don't watch them at all. So, but I like, God, I think I watched one this year randomly, and I thought it was fine. But like, I'm not a big fan of them.
Yeah.
You know,
What kind of movies do you like?
Yeah.
Good question. I mean, comedies for sure. Like I'd watch Wedding Crashers all the time, or like Step
Love
Brothers.
Wedding Crashers.
Yeah,
and
Step
Step
Brothers.
I love funny movies. Caddyshack. Like I love all of them.
We love Caddyshack.
Yeah, so like I love all of those. I love a good rom-com
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll watch like pretty much anything. I'm not big on like Star Wars or Marvel movies or anything like that. I watch them, I'm entertained, but I'm not seeking them out. But yeah, I don't know, a good drama.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
We actually
that-
we used to have Caddyshack in the back of our
Oh my
grandpa's car.
Oh, it's amazing.
For some reason, it was the only movie that was ever playing, and
Yeah.
we just loved
I
it.
always just
You could probably
associate with
we were
the
just
kid.
like,
Yeah.
yeah, we'll stay in the car and watch Caddyshack. Duh.
I
like,
love it. Yeah. Oh.
So what was that animal? The mole?
Yeah, the gopher.
Gopher.
Yes.
Gopher,
Gopher.
yeah.
I
Because
was
they
like,
would call it, and it would sound like golfer. But yeah,
and the
gopher,
like
yeah.
Tootsie Roll in the pool or the.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
So many.
Oh,
so many good
unreal.
ones.
We like
Yeah.
rewinded that part so many times.
So many times. We
And
were
as
the
a kid
kids
too,
were like,
you like think it's
yes,
so funny.
So funny.
Oh.
Farts will always be funny. I don't
Always
care
be funny.
what
Always.
age you're at.
When my kid, I like can't. When
Oh,
the
I
kids,
love
I'm
it.
always
Let's hear
like,
it.
say, excuse me, but it's the funniest shit ever. It's so funny. Yeah.
Or like, did you do that? No.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
which one of you did it? And they're always like, it's so funny. That's
Or the
great.
poop face. The poop
Oh my
face.
gosh, yeah, we were
Oh.
babysitting our nephews
Oh,
on
man.
Valentine's Day,
Oh,
and
cute.
It was super
so
cute.
Jenna looks at Ben,
So I was really trying to push the potty training, and so I was like, you need potty? You need potty?
Yeah.
You have to go potty? And he's like, no. And like I'm like, okay, well, let's wash our hands for dinner, and we have pizza, and I'm doing the the highs and the lows for
We've
the
got
day,
3
right?
nephews,
I love
5,
that.
2,
And
8
so
months.
I'm trying to ask the 2-year-old, our nephew Ben, and I noticed he's not really responding, and the Jake, the older one, is responding for him. And at one point I tell Jake, like, oh, I want to hear from Ben. He goes, well, he's pooping. And then Ben's face, I look at it
He's
like, and I'm like, has it been read this whole time? And then he's just like, and I'm just like, oh my gosh. And then the funniest, and so we change the diaper, we do everything, and we bring him back, and then the same thing happens within like 3 minutes.
Yeah,
I'm like,
I look
you're
at
not
him and I'm
pooping
like-
again, are you? And he's just like,
I love their nod too. They're always like,
and we literally died. We just had to make a whole video. We're just like, we love you guys. This is the funniest shit ever.
And then Leo's in the high chair when the two are gone, and Leo's like in the kitchen still. He's just like,
So
I don't know
much
what you think about My
FOMO.
big brother is like,
they're
he's
so
just
those
like,
ages are so fun.
Oh,
And I'm
I
like,
love
you
it.
guys
So fun.
play by the high chair because he needs you guys by. Like, they are the best.
Oh, it's
The
fun.
best.
we have the best nephews. We love them
love
so
that.
much.
Love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Well, if you ever want to quit teaching and come work for us, let me know.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
I would love it. I need help. But
Yeah.
Yeah. You
If
need
anybody's
babysitters.
listening and they want to,
Yeah,
I wanna
yeah,
be
yeah.
a nanny or
Yeah.
babysitter, let me know.
I'll hit you guys up
Yeah,
for sure.
For sure.
Although I'm around all the time is the problem because I'd just be like,
Yeah.
can I hang out today?
I know. I was
No,
gonna say,
it's
that's
fine.
why I can bring
Like,
some
we
wine.
can hang out
Yeah,
on
I
the
know.
side
That
too.
would be
It's
my
fine.
problem,
It's
yeah.
fine.
Well, I told the boys have to come over someday. You guys all have to come over. Now. We gotta do
Yes.
we'll do a party. We'll do a themed party.
A synergy
Oh,
like
yes.
moment.
Yeah,
Yes.
we got to
Love
do it.
it.
We'd love to have you guys at our house.
Absolutely.
Man.
Good. Yeah, I gotta go pick up the little one though. She's gonna be mad if I'm late.
Thank you for
was
coming
so much
on.
fun.
You guys, this was awesome.
You're an
You guys are
inspiration
really-
to us.
You are. Sweet. And this
in
was
so many
really
ways.
fun. You guys are awesome.
You're
It's
awesome.
gonna be a hit.
Yay.
Yay! Is it steamy in here? I sense some steam.
It's getting hot in here, so take off all your clothes. I am getting so hot. We're gonna swoop into the hot
We're gonna
takes.
talk some sports now. Yeah, okay, that was pretty funny. Okay.
That was pretty lame, but thank you for listening.
It's
Forcibly
fine.
so.
It's fine.
All
Okay.
right.
So let's get the steam going.
Yeah, I'll go into it first because I've got a decent amount. Okay, so there was not a decision made between the MLB and the Players Association. It was supposed to be made by the 28th. They kind of touched on it last week. So the MLB has had to cancel games. So a letter was written out. So their calendar dictates they're not going to be able to play the first two series of the regular season games. So they're officially canceled, and they're still trying to continue with some negotiations. So the MLB Players Association is headed back to New York, meaning that no agreement was possibly made. And so camps are going to be postponed until at least March 8th, leaving at least only 23 days before scheduled opening day. So the last time they played without an agreement on 1994 when the players went on strike. So the forcing cancellations to the World Series, and that was kind of rough for baseball then. So a couple takeaways from this whole drama going on with the lockout and having to cancel games, which is really sad, and really it's a financial detriment, I guess you could say, to the league. But I think it's important that the players do stand up for what they need and what they want. So the MLB is barely budging when it comes to the luxury tax thresholds, which has to deal with their cap hit budgets. And so another big deal was that the offer made was kind of the last best offer, and they were promised a final best offer, or like a better offer kind of than they'd already done. And I think they tried to settle on the best thing they had previously offered. So, like I said, I think it's important that they're sticking up for what they believe in, standing up for their rights.
Absolutely.
And using, leveraging their power in this industry to get what they want and need to move forward. So, kind of a big deal to cancel games. And I think it's making a lot of people sad. I know that opening day was supposed to be like that first weekend in April. And so that's going to be postponed, it sounds like, obviously.
Wow.
Big deal.
Big deal. Okay, so Kevin O'Connell wants ownership of a Vikings defense under contract, while Kevin O'Connell's focus is building a Vikings offense to his liking. He doesn't want to lose track of a defense that could undergo major changes in personnel and scheme. I personally say build that offense and get that defense under contract. I don't know. You know what I'm saying?
Love it. Okay, speaking of the NFL.
Let's speak of it.
They're the first league to drop COVID-19 protocols.
Whoa.
Yeah, so they're heading back to pre-pandemic policies. So they are not requiring social distancing measures, and they're not restricting access within team buildings based on vaccination or job function.
Ooh.
According to a memo sent to all 32 teams on Wednesday, through each team will have to comply with local ordinances.
Ordinances.
I know. Teams are expected to provide an area where they can have the PCR testing be run on site. So, like, basically, if you have any sort of symptoms or you're kind of questioning it, they can test you right away. Absolutely. Obviously, those who test positive are going to be required to isolate for 5 days, as per the current recommendations from the CDC. So, Jenna, what do you think? Does this mean we're going to get back to some pre-pandemic life? It kind of sounds like
at this moment, like that's what this is feeling like. Like, that would be pretty incredible.
Yeah, I
don't know if like it'll actually happen.
Absolutely.
But,
and I wasn't expecting it from the NFL. So it's kind of really cool to hear. Really cool that they're not being like, non-biased as far as vaccination status, and really open and letting people be people. So that's kind of cool.
I love that. Okay. So the Wild, who was once comfortable, now finds themselves in a heated playoff race. There are 31 games remaining, but 4 losses in a row have the team in close competition with familiar rivals. I think that we need to just keep watching our game, guys, honestly.
Oh, yeah. Is it my turn? I'm putting on my lip gloss.
No, it's fine. I think we need to keep watching our game and, don't let the other team, put you too much on your toes. Stay on your feet as much as you can.
Oh, I love that. Not on your toes,
or on
but
your
on your
skates.
Oh, did you just wink at the camera?
I did.
I just tried.
The winks come. It happens.
You were staring at the camera. I tried. I was like,
it happens. So, keep those skates on the ice, boys.
Should we both wink at the same time?
Ready, set, go.
Oh, shoot. I did it with the wrong eye. Let's do
you
it
doing
again.
handguns? Should I do handguns
I can
too?
only wink with handguns.
I'll throw one in. You ready?
1, 2, 3.
That was
Ooh,
cute.
I just did a good one.
We should do that. That should be like our little
That'll be a clip.
thing. Okay, your turn.
My turn.
Your turn.
Okay, so this is cool. I was telling you about this earlier. So the Russian owner, Roman Abramovich.
Sounds Russian.
Is putting the team the club Chelsea up for sale. So the football club, or as Americans would say, soccer, is for sale.
Wow.
I know. So he's putting it, he's selling it in the wake of Russia's, because he's Russian.
So this is their soccer league, essentially.
Well, the UK's.
Or got it. Okay.
But it's owned by a Russian man.
Understood.
And due to their invasion of Ukraine, he is putting it up for sale. He's currently going to transition the club in the hands of Swiss billionaire Hans-Jörg Wyss, who is already...
Also sounds Swiss, yeah.
Yeah. The O has the 2 dots above it.
That's serious.
He already publicly expressed an interest in the deal while claiming that there are other contenders. So Wyss is a part of a consortium that is understood to include, I thought this was cool, Todd Boehly, part owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers and Los Angeles Sparks. So Abramovich has confirmed that he will not be asking for any loans to be repaid. Chelsea's most recent accounts show that they owed around $2 billion to their owner, who has financed an remarkable level of spending over the 19 years since he bought the club for over $230 million. Abramovich says the net proceeds of this sale will be distributed to the victims of the war in Ukraine through a foundation he will set up. The foundation will be for the benefit of all victims of the war of Ukraine. Wow.
That is so incredible.
Isn't
on
that
so
cool?
many levels. Way to just make an impact.
I know. And I think it's a big deal. Chelsea's got to be one of the highest grossing clubs in the industry of football in Europe. For sure. I mean, definitely one of the more popular ones, if not.
Absolutely. That is incredible.
Is it?
Yeah. Okay. So my next thing, not knowing our beautiful Aaron Rodgers' future, could be keeping Vikings from making the call with Kirk Cousins, even as Kwesi Mensah
nailed it
and Kevin O'Connell, thank you, appreciate that, work quickly on their own rosters. They must be mindful of what's happening with their biggest rival. Now, all I have to say about this is, boys, keep your eyes open, okay? You never know. Could we get Aaron Rodgers? Could we lose Kirk Cousins?
Let's
be careful.
Keep Kirk
and honestly,
Aaron.
in Vikings history, I'm sure we'll end up without both, but that's okay. We can hope for the best.
Okay.
And that's why I'm saying let's keep our eyes open.
All right. Are we ready to pop some culture?
No.
Oh, I'm done with my sports.
Something else to say.
Oh.
If that's all right. I don't think culture's being popped quite yet.
All right. Well, I'm ready to pop it over here.
Well, that's
so
fine. Well,
lock
you
and
just
drop
keep it. Keep it capped.
Okay. Well, I'm ready to pop, lock, and drop
For
it.
one more moment.
One more moment.
Okay, so
you go.
Russian NHL players
Oh, that's right.
are mostly staying silent about the Ukraine war. Russian players in the National Hockey League have remained quiet about their country's invasion of Ukraine. Largely, this is probably based on the result of fearing potential fallout back home, which is totally reasonable. I would just say let's just keep silent as much as you can. I mean, I feel like we all understand what happens in Russia. If you have the wrong thought or the wrong idea,
don't like vodka,
the wrong opinion, boom, shot in the street or something. So yeah, just keep your family safe, make the right choices. We all understand, guys.
We all understand. We are hearing your silence.
and we respect it.
Okay. Now
Let's pop the hell out of that culture. Let's do it.
You go first because I think.
Okay. So I don't even know if I'm saying this name right. Also, like, we kind of don't care about this guy because he's kind of freak. But Simon Lviv, whose real name is...
Oh, is this about the... Okay, I can speak on some of this,
Shaman Hayut, was banned from dating apps like Tinder and Hinge after Netflix released The Tinder Swindler, which I just want to say we will probably never watch.
So on that, did you know...
of...
Oh, you finished.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
A group of women who were the victims of the dating app-based swindler joined together in an attempt to hunt him down and recover the millions of dollars that were stolen from them.
So the Tinder Swindler, I don't know if you know this, has been
Swindler.
One of Netflix's most popular documentaries ever, and he is currently getting paid up to $20,000.
What?
He's getting offers to do guest appearances at clubs in Europe mostly.
What?
But in the US too. So he's getting offers to get up to $20,000 to make an appearance at a club because this has become such a big documentary and people want to see him. Get this. So now he's trying to swindle, he's good at what he does, deals and get like private jets and luxury experiences of these
this
appearances.
Guy does not deserve a spot on a PJ. You kidding? No.
Yeah, so he's trying to get like luxury experiences, which he basically tried to do in swindling people's money. From my understanding, I didn't watch the documentary, but
this should be like an episode of Imposters or something.
Yeah, no, it's totally crazy. It's totally crazy. And now he's getting paid to make appearances in clubs in Europe.
This is the downside of social media. Sometimes, guys, you can just read one article. We don't need to become so fascinated that we're like too deep. I know. Like that, because now he's like benefiting from that. That's horrible.
It is. It's sad. And like you said, these women are trying to get their money back.
Yeah. And it's hard because it is a fascinating concept, but that doesn't mean he needs to be paid to show up places.
Insane. And he's insanely
and
good
who knows
at
what
being
he's
insane.
capable of,
Yeah, that's
too.
the scary part.
That's really scary.
That
would be like if we found out, like, I don't know. I don't want to relate him too much to two horrible people, but
anyways, okay.
Yeah.
Colton Underwood and Jordan Brown are now engaged. Well, they were engaged in like January. They're planning a non-traditional wedding. So I just want to like wrap your head around this. About a year ago, Colton first came out.
Right.
Then he starts dating his now fiance in like September, which he wasn't in his tell-all documentary about himself.
Wait, so
they were dating.
Fiance wasn't?
His fiance Jordan Brown wasn't in the show, although they were dating.
Interesting.
Which is pretty phony because if you recall, he came out to his dad on the show.
He's kind of phony.
But anyways, so they plan to pick out rings together. They are currently wearing pendants which bear each other's purse stones and initials, as well as a couple secret quotes from Rumi, which is like a yogi, the 13th century poet. Maybe I just always associate him as a yogi.
Got it.
And Beyonce, who the Colton quote unquote is a philosopher and an icon, as Underwood puts it.
That's quite a compliment.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But so they're gonna pick out rings together and have a non-traditional ceremony, and they want to do it fast because they think on the trajectory they're on, they just know, and they want to have kids.
What is time?
Yeah. So I mean, he has only been publicly out for almost a year in April. Am I wrong? Like, oh my goodness.
No, I think you're right. Yeah.
Wow. What a like whirlwind.
I mean, it's
a whirlwind for me. I don't know how it is for him.
Do you want my hot take on this?
Let's hear it.
I think this could be either one of the two. The best thing that's ever happened to him or a train wreck decision. And I think we'll just all sit and wait to find out.
Whatever it is, it's clearly an emotional decision.
Ooh, mic drop. Yeah.
Okay, Jen.
That's why I didn't clear. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay. So on a lighter note, Larry David fans.
Yeah.
I love Larry David, by the way. He's so funny. Were forced to curb their enthusiasm this week as a 2-part documentary about the writer, actor, and producer and comedian, don't know why that wasn't in here, was pulled from HBO's schedule the night before it was set to be released. Like, this is a Netflix documentary. Like, for something like that to be pulled night before.
Why?
Pretty big deal. Do you want to try to guess?
Why?
I thought it might be fun if you guessed why.
Oh, no.
Okay, whatever.
Is there a scandal involved?
No. Larry just decided last minute that he would rather have this debut in front of an audience.
Oh, love that. Such
Yeah,
a Larry
like
move.
it's such a Larry move. And also to
Larry
wait till the
move.
day before to be like, hey, shouldn't this be in front of a live audience?
Is he dramatic? I don't know.
Like, I just love that. Like, and why would we expect anything else from him? Let's be real.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, and I low-key love it.
We're here for it.
Okay. Moving forward.
And I'm really excited about that documentary. It's going to show a lot of him, like, young, too. And, like,
Yeah.
it's going to be really cool.
On another light note,
Hit
Amanda
us with a light note.
Bynes.
Love Amanda Bynes. She's the man. Let's
She's
do
the
it.
man. She is set to
What a
end
girl
her
wants, everything.
9-year conservatorship with her parents. So Amanda's mother, get this, Jen. Do you know her mom's name is Lynn?
Shocking.
Interesting.
Shocking.
I wonder if something will come out. Mother's name Lynn and conservatorship.
Well, shit, Lynn.
Well,
I
shit,
just
Lynn,
quit my job yesterday.
That's our favorite line from the documentary.
From the Britney Spears documentary. We can't not say it, guys.
It's like the
Sorry.
first documentary because there's been another
Yeah.
one we haven't watched. And yeah, what's her name? That lady. She's like, well, shit, Lynn.
I think it was like Denise or something.
Yeah, I don't know. The lady who went around with Britney on all her.
Britney's very first
Okay.
assistant.
Anyway, so the conservatorship was put in place in August 2013. She allegedly set fire to a driveway. And then
I remember that.
Yeah,
and
and
it's
then
like
she got-
no one else heard from her again after that.
And then she got DUI in 2014. So then, the conservatorship was put in place because she was putting herself and other people's property and her property at risk. And then, so she announced via social media she had been diagnosed with bipolar and manic depressive disorder. However, unlike Britney, her parents are super happy and thrilled to get this good news that she wants to separate from her conservatorship. The attorney
That's
told the
awesome.
publications that the professionals say she is ready to make her own life choices and decisions and are so proud of her. They 100% support her decisions to end the conservatorship.
Wow.
How incredible. And what I want to say about this, it sounds like Amanda seriously put in the work and she's at a better place in life and at a place where she can stably make her own choices. And we are here for her and we are proud of her. And I just hope that Britney is in this frame when she writes her tell-all book.
Yes.
We don't want regrets.
No.
All right.
That's incredible. Okay. Obviously we have news about the Kardashians
Of
every
course.
week because they are just running everything. Okay, so Kim Kardashian is now being declared legally single. We're so happy for her. So, essentially, this is sort of what's been told. Kanye's paperwork has always indicated that his problems with the divorce was only procedural. Not sure, like, we totally know what that means. But Ye's lawyer, because now he's legally Ye's lawyer told E! News and other reporters that moreover he was always in support of the divorce, only if Kim was satisfied with the procedural requirements to protect rights under the California law. So it's kind of confusing because he tells lawyers to say, like, I support this, I'm for this, blah, blah, blah. And then we then find out that it's clearly obvious he's not for this because he
Didn't even show at the court hearing.
well, yeah, and he also released essentially he released this new song or video for Easy, and he is essentially like burying a like Pete Wentz like figurine.
Oh, really? Did you
It
hear
just
that?
is so unhealthy that it's kind of unexcusable. It's kind of like you know, like you can get so many lawyers to speak for you, but when you are literally putting out to the world stuff that contradicts that, it's just very confusing to us, Kanye. Sorry,
Totally.
Ye.
Yay. Well, did you hear Ye was last seen having dinner with Tristan Thompson?
Ew.
And he skipped the court hearing for the legal, like,
Such a
legally
douchebag
single
move.
move.
Like he should have tattoo that says douchebag.
Or that says weak.
Yeah, essentially the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. Moving on. Hillary
Moving
Duff.
on. I love Hillary Duff news. What is the Hillary Duff news?
She opens up in an interview that she has not given up hopes on a Lizzie McGuire reboot.
Thank God, you guys.
Right? She thinks that people will always be interested to see where the character ended up. And so she opened up that she spent a lot of time in her 20s and 30s hating being associated with Lizzie. It took her for a long time. That she, was constantly being called Lizzie. And she didn't want to be associated with that. But finally, after like her 30s, doing some self-reflection, she now has I want to read the quote. The only way we do this is an honest interpretation of what our life would look like right now, because that's what it's made to show why it's so special and why it's an honest representation of 13, 14, 15-year-old girls' lives. So we're all crossing our fingers for a reboot. We're glad Hillary Duff, has a healthy association with her Lizzie McGuire relationship, because it sounds like it was a rough patch for about 10 years there. And, that would be annoying, like constantly trying to separate yourself from a character that you identified with and so many people identified with. But anyways, really exciting. And because I think there was talk about it a couple of years ago, and that's why it's like relevant.
2019.
Yes, you're exactly right. It was 2019, and there was talk about it, and then it got canceled, and the fans were super sad. The people even started petitions. And then
I'd sign it.
Hillary Duff got behind it, and she said she would do it in her 30s and even in her 40s. She would do the reboot.
That's in her 30s or 40s.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Yeah,
that'd be so epic.
She wants watchers, listeners, whoever, fans to know she is not giving up on it.
Well, also, I just want to clarify too, like, I think anyone at that like 13, 14 age, like, yeah, you're going to have a couple years of like not the best time. I can't imagine being on a television show doing that. Like, that's what she gave us, though. Like, that's the part of her life that she gave us. And like, as an actor, just giving her best. And I can't wait to see what her best looks like now.
I know, right?
Like, it's going to be so incredible.
She did like a little cameo on The Bachelor. That was cool.
So cool.
Okay, Jen.
Okay, so now on to some Pam Anderson news. So
love Pam Anderson.
Yeah, we're like big Pam fans. Okay, so Pam Anderson is no stranger to living in the spotlight. She's one of the most well-known celebrities of all time. She is now ready to take control of the narrative with her latest project. Her life is currently being re-exposed, obviously, on Hulu's Pam and Tommy, which we are kind of fans of. I don't know if like Pam likes it, but we're fans of. So now she has actually decided to do a new documentary about her life, and it is going to be essentially her own narrative. And I have this little this little like picture of a quote that I screenshotted that I'm going to read that she wrote, and I think it's going to be like in the documentary. And essentially it is Pam Anderson, not a victim, but a survivor.
Ooh.
And so like, I really like the fact that she's doing something to really show like her authentic really point of view of her life.
Wow, really cool. Like, wait for her to like take the stage and get her narrative out there. Proud of her.
Absolutely. Okay, so next one, Tyler Perry. I kind of love this. And so Tyler Perry decided to release a new Madea movie called Homecoming, which we're all for. I think Tyler Perry is so funny. And so what he did is he decided to pay homage to Beyonce, Queen Bee, he says.
Queen Bee?
Queen Bee. And so he essentially said, I thought there is no way that I can call this Madea movie Homecoming and not do some sort of homage to the Queen Bee. So what he essentially did is he redid, he took her iconic outfit from the set, and essentially put on Drunk in Love, and he reenacted the entire song.
Awesome.
And performance. So look it up. It's incredible. It's literally hilarious. Because he is, like 6'5". It's one of the funniest things that's ever been produced. We're big fans.
Love Tyler Perry.
Yeah.
All right. Should we
Culture's been popped. Should we do underrated, overrated?
Yes.
Let's roll into it.
All right.
You want me to go first? You want to go first?
You go first.
Okay. I am very passionate about this, so I will go first. Love is Blind, Julie. Overrated, underrated?
Okay, so I actually have a fun fact about this. First of all, I
also have big news on this as well.
Okay.
So.
Yours is probably cooler, so I'm going to say mine quick. I'm going to say overrated.
Tell us why.
I've heard so many things, and one of them being that someone made a comment in an article about the gold-plated, like, chalice wine glasses. They call them goblets. They're basically just a wine glass that's fully gold-plated. And they're pretty, and the producer is like, it's to create continuity. However...
Okay.
And he said it's kind of like a prop aesthetic, so that every time the show comes on and you walked by and you saw the gold glasses, you would identify with Love is Blind. However, he did make a comment to say that it is there to create continuity so that, you could clip and move scenes and not know how much of the drink was left. So, like...
Exactly.
So they could create, it's basically like... using people's words and then cutting it, and producing can be an art form if you're doing it for entertainment. However, it can also put a narrative on people that was not always true. Anyways, and then also alluded to the fact that so the people on the show could be drinking like water, wine, or whatever they want to drink,
and not be like exposed,
which is fair. It's fair. I think that's totally fine. I just don't fully support the fact that it's so the viewer doesn't know where the scene is at and how it was.
I'm not surprised. That's all I have to
warped.
say. I'm not surprised, and I'll tell you why.
Yeah,
okay?
Let's hear it.
Love is Blind is the fakest thing. It is the biggest scam on Netflix.
Love.
I don't talk about this kind of stuff with anything. So
yeah, are you going to talk about it?
I don't throw the word scam out there lightly. Season 1, what was I? Freaking
we were
6 episodes deep.
Yeah, we were into it.
Yeah, I was like reevaluating everything. Like I was just like, oh my gosh, like Love is Blind. This is insane.
Yeah.
Like this is incredible. Mm-hmm. Then all of a sudden someone, I don't know, her name started with an A. It was like something like, I don't know, like Amanda.
Doesn't matter.
Like, yeah. She essentially alluded to the fact that she had hooked up with one of the guys in the room.
In the pods.
In the pod. What? Love is supposed to be blind. How are you hooking up with each other on the show?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Love is not blind, and that is a scam, and it is all pre-arranged, my people. Do not be fooled.
You heard it.
Heard it here, and it's the truth.
I'm going to do sketchy
extremely overrated.
Okay. Next one. Cryptocurrency. Overrated, underrated?
I think underrated. Who knows what's going to happen, right?
Yeah. I'm not really good at it, and I think it's an avenue to learn from, gain insight into. I would say, I think, I somewhat do think it's slightly overrated because I think it's a fad.
Maybe elements of it.
And I don't totally understand how you can have money in an alternate world that you can't spend here. So it's a whole different currency.
Complex.
I understand that. I think the potential is underrated.
Agreed.
In the moment, I would say overrated just because everyone's so into it.
Understood.
Hipster take. Sorry.
It's okay. We'll take it.
Don't at me.
Okay, so my next one, self-care Sundays. Underrated, overrated?
We love self-care. I love Sundays. Sundays are our days
Perfect
to do
day
whatever. Brunch, chill, couch, no shame. Love it.
I'm down too. Love it too.
How about you?
Very underrated. Are you kidding? I
Absolutely.
love that you can go out to brunch and then also do a little self-care moment after. Why not?
Yeah. We love Sundays. Okay, tap water.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Obviously underrated. Or no, overrated. Ew, who drinks tap water? Drink it out of the fridge.
Okay, tap water versus filtered water. Tap water.
Filtered water. Duh.
I say the opposite.
Okay.
Filtered
weirdo.
water takes out all the minerals. Fluoride is good for your teeth. That's in
Well,
tap
I
water.
don't know. The society makes you think that filtered water is better.
Yeah, and bottled water is not
so
better.
Don't blame me. Blame society.
Don't drink bottled water. Drink tap water. It's better for you.
Okay. Menu hacks.
Define a menu hack. Is that like reading the menu before you go to the restaurant?
No.
What
It can
is
be
it?
many different things. Menu hacks could be like, I'm going to order...
Oh, underrated. I know exactly
like
what you're.
bacon,
it's
a
the, like,
waffle, and sausage, and roll it all up.
yeah,
like,
no,
but it's 3
like
different meals.
It's like the Frannies you do at Maynard's.
Exactly.
That's a menu
Or,
hack. Yeah,
yes.
underrated. I do it with my poke bowl.
So underrated.
Yeah.
Okay, Jules, what's your next one?
Monochromatic color scheme.
I love it. I love it. I love
Jack's
it.
laughing in the corner.
I fucking love it. I love it.
Still don't get it. Still don't get it.
I fucking love it. Obviously underrated.
Duh, love it. It's amazing.
I want a monochromatic my life.
Okay, let's not go too far.
I'm just kidding.
Love it. Love it.
It is very
underrated.
aesthetically pleasing.
Your turn.
Okay. My last one, Mardi Gras.
Underrated. We Fat
Underrated.
Tuesday the heck out of Fat Tuesday.
Yes, we did.
And as Donnie would say, it is French for Fat Tuesday.
It's a great excuse to have a party. You guys have fun.
Yeah. Why not go into Ash Wednesday after a Fat Tuesday?
Okay, last one, Jules.
Speaking of Ash Wednesday, Easter candy.
Love it. So underrated. That's
Reese's
incredible.
Eggs are the best.
Yes.
Like you know what I'm talking about?
Our brother's a big
The
Peep
Reese's
guy. He loves Peeps.
Peanut butter cup egg.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The Reese's in the shape of an egg. They taste better that way. I don't know why.
Well, it's amazing. It's just
But
like
they do.
better. Yeah. It's as good as the tree ones. The tree ones are as good as the egg ones because the egg ones are better. Cadbury eggs.
Cadbury eggs hit the spot.
I think Easter candy's the goat. Like out of
So
all
good.
seasons,
It's the candy worth eating.
yeah, the candy worth eating. There it is.
Yep.
Let's just take a moment on that. I'm salivating. All right.
Well, this is fun, guys.
Speaking of candy worth eating, this was an episode worth listening.
Absolutely.
But thanks for tuning in, you guys. We'll see you next week. As always, we're happy to be here. Follow us on socials for updates.
Thanks, guys. It's been real. We love you all.
Should we wink out?
Okay, ready? 3, 2, 1.